Chapter 21. If you had an invincible background, what would you want to do? The emperor's daughter who was accidentally lost by the Wangyu ancient clan cannot practice normally until the seal is released because of the bloodline seal in her body. Once the seal is lifted, you will be blessed by the moon god, awaken the bloodline of the desolate moon demon Cloud Rabbit, and your strength will increase by leaps and bounds. Even when encountering a life or death crisis, the bloodline seal will erupt in a devastating attack, enough to obliterate the strong men in the 9th level of heaven and man. Hiss. Looking at the information that appeared in front of him, Xiao Chen took a sharp breath. Although he didn't know what the Wangyu ancient clan was, just the word, emperor, made Xiao Chen feel suffocated. What is an imperial daughter? That is a title that can only be given to a descendant whose father or mother is a powerful person in the emperor realm. Almost as soon as they were born, this type of people stood at the top of the Kanglan world, regardless of talent or background. With the support behind you, it just takes a little effort. You can reach a height that ordinary people cannot reach in their lifetime. I thought that this kind of evil person would not have contact with him now. But Xiao Chen never expected that the naive maid in front of him would be the emperor's daughter of an ancient tribe. Isn't this God's joke too big? Master, what's wrong with you? Seeing Xiao Chen's sudden look of shock and disbelief, Yunxi raised his head nervously and asked timidly. I thought she had suddenly offended the other party. Nothing. Seeing Yun Zai's timid look, Xiao Chen came back to his senses and continued with his eyes twinkling. Yunxi, the young master wants to ask you a question. If you find out in the future that you can not only practice, but also easily surpass all your peers and reach a height of cultivation that even the head of the family cannot reach. It even has the most apex-level background in the world, and can overthrow the 7 dynasties of the Eastern Wasteland in a single thought. Until then, what do you want to do? At the end of the sentence, Xiao Chen's voice became very low, even vaguely solemn. Yunxi is now just a maid beside him, which is far different from her true identity. If her seal is lifted one day, she will know that she is a high-ranking emperor's daughter. I don't know if it's because of the psychological contrast that I felt that my previous identity was a shame, so I went dark and wanted to erase this stain. If that's the case, then the Xiao family will be in danger. Has the most apex-level background in the world. Has your cultivation level reached a very high level? Hearing such a strange question from Xiao Chen, Yunxi couldn't help but be stunned for a moment, tilted her head and thought seriously, and then replied with a serious face. Well, Yunxi will still be the young master's maid. I will beat anyone who dares to go against the young master. Xiao Chen's lips twitched when he heard this, and he continued angrily. If you have an invincible background and are far more powerful than the young master, how can you be willing to continue to be a maid? Some people will remember the goodness of others when they are humble, just because they have never reached the height of others. You need to rely on others to help you live a better life. But once the status and strength far surpass the opponents, the mentality will also change. She would even wish to trample under her feet those who once had pressure on her, and make these people treat her in a more humble manner like she once did. Xiao Chen has been working in the factory for 2.5 years and has seen many similar things. No one is willing to rely on others. This is the truest aspect of human nature. Why aren't you willing to continue being a maid? After Yunxi was silent for a while, she raised her head and said seriously. Since Yunxi can remember, she has never been accompanied by her relatives. She picks up food on the street every day and is often kicked out by others. It snowed heavily that year. If the young master hadn't given me a sesame seed cake, Yunxi would have probably starved to death on the street. So Yunxi once secretly swore that from now on, as long as the young master does not dislike me, Yunxi will serve the young master for the rest of his life. At the end, Yun Zai's eyes became misty as if she was remembering the sad things in the past. Both hands subconsciously grabbed Xiao Chen's clothes, just like when Xiao Chen gave her a piece of sesame seed cake and was about to leave, she grabbed him tightly. The words were not very loud, but Xiao Chen suddenly trembled, and the scene from that year also appeared in his mind. It's snowing heavily. A little girl of 5 or 6 years old was lying in front of Xiao's house. She was dirty and looked like a little beggar that no one wanted. When he went out to play in the snow and saw how pitiful the other party was, he ran back to Xiao's house and brought a sesame seed cake to the other party, and asked Xiaozan to take Yunxi by his side as a maid. From then on, even though Yunxi is 2 years younger than him, she still rushes to help him with work every day. But no one expected that this seemingly miserable little girl would have a mysterious origin behind her. Master, when you say this, do you want to drive me away? When Xiao Chen dug up his past memories, Yunxi raised her head pitifully, with tears already welling up in her eyes. There is no such thing as a simple if in this world, it is usually paving the way for something. Although she is still young, she also understands this truth. There must be some meaning behind Xiao Chen's words, and he was probably trying to trick her away from him. Hey, don't cry. I didn't say that I would drive you away, so don't overthink it. Seeing that Yunxi was about to cry in the next second, Xiao Chen helplessly touched her head. It is unimaginable that this maid who is always ready to cry can actually crush anyone in the eastern wasteland. What the young master really wants to tell you is, you can't practice now just because your physique has not yet awakened. Once awakened, you will be completely transformed. At that time, your fate will also change accordingly. Maybe some clan members will come to pick you up. But no matter what changes happen in the future, remember not to regard the past when you were humble as the humiliation of your life just because of the change in status. Xiao Chen can only take precautions against anything that may happen in the future at Lenovo. This allows Yunxi to be mentally prepared, so that if her identity changes in the future, she won't have difficulty accepting the past for a while. Master, what on earth are you talking about? What kind of physique has not yet awakened, and what kind of clansman will come to pick me up? You said it makes Yunxi so scared. Listening to Xiao Chen's incomprehensible words, Yunxi grabbed Xiao Chen nervously again, fearing that he would be driven away as soon as he let go. Yunxi has been living on the streets since he was a child. Only the young master would feel sorry for me. So in Yunzai's heart, the young master is the person closest to me, and the people of the Xiao family are my clansmen. No matter what happens in the future, Yunxi will never leave the young master. After saying that, Yunxi showed a determined look on her face, seeming to express her determination. Well, master believes in you. Seeing this silly girl looking at him, Xiao Chen couldn't help but reach out and rub her head. This girl looks straight-minded, so she shouldn't be a white-eyed wolf. However, it is too early to think about this now, and there is no telling what will happen in the future. Not to mention, he has a cheat. Even if Yunzai's bloodline awakens in the future, he will still have the ability to solve all this. After the thought came to an end, Xiao Chen turned around and took off his clothes without thinking too much. Then, amidst Yunzai's exclamations, he entered the bathtub and took a bath. Chapter 22 The Lin family in Tiandu City, they can't make a difference. Inside the wing, the fog was hazy. Xiao Chen soaked in the bathtub with a contented look on his face, lazily enjoying Yunxi rubbing his back. And in this hazy mist, Yunzai's little face turned red, almost dripping with blood. A pair of eyes were tightly closed, looking very shy and embarrassed. It seemed that if she accidentally saw Xiao Chen in front of her, her blood would surge and she would faint on the spot. Okay, if you rub my back like this, my hair will almost disappear. Feeling Yunxi rubbing her head, Xiao Chen said helplessly in the bathtub. I'm sorry, master, am I too stupid? Hearing Xiao Chen's casual teasing, Yunxi apologized in embarrassment. But when she opened her eyes and saw Xiao Chen's naked upper body, her pretty face turned red to her neck. This was the first time she had served Xiao Chen to take a bath, and her heart was beating so fast that it felt like it was about to explode. Just kidding. You have done a good job. Let's stop taking a bath this time. I want to get up and get dressed. Hearing the uneasy look in Yunzai's voice, Xiao Chen sighed helplessly and stood up from the bath after speaking. This girl is good at everything, but a little humble. If it weren't for the identity of the other party, but the result of the identification, Xiao Chen wouldn't believe that she was an emperor's daughter. Yunxi, who had not yet reacted, saw Xiao Chen standing up suddenly and screamed in fright. The whole person was like a steam pot, with hot steam coming out all of a sudden, and 2 nosebleeds spurted out suddenly. Oh, you are really a dishonest person who loves to show off your strength. Feeling the movement behind him, Xiao Chen sighed helplessly. It was just a back view, and this girl had a nosebleed. If he turned around, wouldn't he faint on the spot? In desperation, Xiao Chen turned his back to Yunxi, put on his clothes while waving his hands, and then turned around. Only then did I discover. Yunzai's face was so red that it almost bled, and her eyes seemed a little dull, as if she was still immersed in the scene just now. Are you okay? Seeing the nosebleed dripping to the ground, Xiao Chen asked with a half smile. Master, I'm fine. After hearing Xiao Chen's question, Yunxi finally came back to her senses. After exclaiming, she quickly wiped her nose. He directly wiped his mouth full of nosebleeds. Take care of yourself and don't be brave next time. Seeing Yun Zai's embarrassed look, Xiao Chen rubbed Yun Zai's head, then turned around and walked out of the room. He didn't forget business. It is better to hand over the Senluo blood prison array to Xiao Zan first and recover the resources collected by the Xiao family in the past 2 days. And Yun Zai's secret can also be mentioned. However, it is not certain when the other party's seal will be lifted, so there is currently no way to deal with it. Come to the meeting hall. Only then did Xiao Chen realize that Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others were there. They all looked solemn and seemed to be discussing something. What happened? Feeling that something was not right about the atmosphere, Xiao Chen took the initiative to ask as he entered the hall. Chen'er, Xiao Chen, you are finally released from seclusion. Seeing Xiao Chen's appearance, everyone looked happy and quickly stood up to greet him. Xiao Mingyi also opened his mouth to explain at this time. On the second day of your seclusion, Queen Medusa also went into seclusion like you. She said she wanted to recover her fallen cultivation. She told us not to disturb her if nothing happened. And within these 2 days, there are many suspicious people around the Xiao family. It seems that someone is monitoring the Xiao family's actions. Speaking of this, Xiao Mingyi's voice became a little solemn. A few of us suspect that these are the spies of the Lin family in Tiandu City. They should want to find out the details of the Xiao family so that they can launch some kind of action against the Xiao family. So we old guys suspect that the strong men from the Lin family in Tiandu City are already on their way. Maybe it will come to Luyun City in the next 2 days. And Queen Medusa is now practicing in seclusion, so we must take countermeasures in advance. After saying that, Xiao Zan and others nodded solemnly, but Xiao Chen smiled dumbly at this time. It's just the Lin family in Tiandu City, they can't make a difference. With that said, Xiao Chen took out the Senluo blood prison formation disc and continued in a nonchalant voice. With this array, even if the Lin family in Tiandu City invites the powerful Tai sword sect to take action, our Xiao family will still have the ability to kill the invading powerful enemies. Array disc. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, the eyes of Xiao Zan and others instantly fell on the formation disc. Is this an Earth rank array? Earth rank formation disc. Even the lowest Earth rank array can erupt with terrifying power, enough to threaten the strong men of Grotto Heaven Realm. If it is an Earth rank high grade or Earth rank supreme grade formation disc, the power of the formation when fully deployed can even severely injure or kill Nirvana Realm experts. Seeing how confident Xiao Chen looks, could this be the Earth rank supreme grade array? Thinking of this, Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others were shocked, and their faces showed joy. This is not the Earth rank array. Xiao Chen smiled faintly when he heard the words. When Xiao Zan heard the words, he was a little stunned and seemed to have thought of something. He nodded and continued. Yes, this is a heavenly rank array disc, and it is also heavenly rank supreme grade. If the power of its formation explodes with all its strength, it will be enough to seriously injure or kill the celestial human realm strong man. Wah! What? After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others all took a sharp breath, almost weakened and fell to their knees in front of Xiao Chen. Heavenly rank supreme grade lineup. Enough to seriously injure or kill the celestial human realm strong man. These 2 sets of keywords kept echoing in their minds, making their brains buzz with blood and almost explode. Celestial human realm strong man. This is the top powerhouse of the 7 dynasties in the Eastern Wasteland, a terrifying existence that can destroy the Xiao family in a snap. Even stomping his feet can make the great Qian dynasty tremble 3 times, making him almost invincible in their eyes. And the formation disc in Xiao Chen's hand can actually kill the strong celestial human realm. This is undoubtedly a divine weapon to them. Although this array has the ability to severely injure or kill powerful people in the celestial human realm, whether it can do it depends on the cultivation level of the caster. Unable to unleash the full power of the array, I can only take a beating against the powerful celestial human realm. Seeing that Xiao Zan and others were so shocked that their legs were weak, Xiao Chen was afraid that their confidence would be inflated. He hurriedly said a few words of caution. You need to be strong to make iron. We all understand this. You guys don't have to worry about us old guys getting carried away. When Xiao Zan heard this, he waved his hand and smiled happily. Although with the current cultivation level of my father and elders, controlling this array cannot compete with the powerful celestial human realm. But it's more than enough to deal with some Grotto Heaven Realm or Nirvana Realm experts. After seeing a few people calm down, Xiao Chen said a few words with a slight smile. Then he explained the use of Senluo blood prison formation to Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others. Of course, when Xiao Zhan and others asked how they got this array disc, Xiao Chen only said that the chief master gave it to him. By the way, these supreme-grade spiritual essence pills were refined by me in seclusion for the past 2 days. You can take them and exchange them for spiritual crystals, which can be used to purchase more resources. After explaining how to use the Senluo blood prison formation disc, Xiao Chen took out the remaining supreme-grade Lingyuan pill. Supreme-grade Lingyuan Dan, Xiao Chen, you can actually make elixirs. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiao Zhan and others were surprised, and their eyes fell on the pill bottles. With so many pill bottles, how many have you refined? The supreme-grade Lingyuan pill is very difficult to refine. Even an Earth-rank alchemy master needs a bit of luck to refine it. And Xiao Chen actually took out nearly 10 alchemy bottles. Could it be that the other party successfully refined nearly 10 elixirs? Not a lot. In addition to what I have used for practice in the past 2 days, there are still 60 supreme-grade Lingyuan pills left. Seeing several pairs of eyes staring at him, Xiao Chen smiled lightly and said indifferently. Chapter 23 Xiao Chen, don't let the wealth go to outsiders, otherwise I'll take your sister Linger under my wing. Hiss, 60 supreme-grade spiritual essence pills. Hearing Xiao Chen's understatement about how many pills there were, Xiao Zhan, Xiao Mingyi and others took a sharp breath, and their legs almost went weak and they knelt in front of Xiao Chen on the spot. You must know that in the pill market of Luyun City, you may not see a supreme-grade Lingyuan pill for several years. Once you show up, you will be robbed. A supreme-grade spiritual essence pill cannot be purchased without 5,000 spirit crystals. And Xiao Chen actually took out 60 supreme-grade spiritual essence pills in one go. This was a cultivation resource worth hundreds of thousands of spirit crystals, enough to make all the chambers of commerce in Luyun City a sensation. Really? All are supreme-grade Lingyuan Dan. In disbelief, Xiao Zhan, Xiao Mingyi and others. They all took the elixir bottle tremblingly, then opened the bottle and took a sip, then raised their heads and looked at Xiao Chen with trembling eyes. You really made this all? It's not that Xiao Zhan and others want to doubt Xiao Chen, but this matter is really ridiculous. Refining elixirs is very cumbersome. Even a heavenly rank alchemist cannot do it if he wants to refine 60 supreme-grade spiritual essence pills in 2 days. Furthermore, there is no alchemy furnace in Xiao Chen's wing, nor is there a large amount of matching medicinal materials. How did he refine so many supreme-grade Lingyuan pills? Could it be? While their thoughts were turning, several people couldn't help but look at each other as if they had thought of something. Only then did they remember. 2 days ago, I gave Xiao Chen 100 low-grade Lingyuan pills. Are these Lingyuan pills made from those pills? Yes, just as you guessed, this is purified and refined from that batch of low-grade Lingyuan Dan. Seeing the guessing expressions on several people's faces, Xiao Chen also smiled and nodded. Hiss, Xiao Chen actually has such ability, he is really the lucky star of my Xiao family. When Xiao Zhan and others heard this, they took another deep breath, with expressions of ecstasy and excitement on their faces. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen can not only help people cleanse their marrow and cut their pulses, but now he can even purify and refine elixirs twice. Not even a heavenly rank alchemist can be so perverted. In the future, if Xiao Chen is here in the Xiao family, how can there be no supreme grade elixir? Well, you guys don't get too happy too early. This will also consume a lot of resources. If there are no other resources to support it, I will not be able to purify any elixir. Looking at these people, Xiao Chen couldn't help but feel longing in his heart. Xiao Chen could only helplessly pour a basin of cold water on them. Ha ha ha, we all understand. After hearing Xiao Chen say these 2 words, Xiao Zhan and others laughed, and then handed over a space ring. These are the various resources and items we have purchased from major chambers of commerce in the past 2 days, including the remaining weapons, monsters, nuclear waste pills, etc. A total of 470,000 spiritual crystals were spent. This should be helpful to you. 470,000 spiritual crystals. Hearing Xiao Zhan's words, Xiao Chen's eyes lit up. Without any politeness or pretense, he took the space ring. 470,000 spiritual crystals. This should be a huge amount of wealth that can only be collected after wiping out Wang Lin's family and using the Xiao family's own liquidity. He didn't expect that the Xiao family would spend all their resources to acquire resources. This selfless approach surprised him a bit. As the spiritual sense penetrates into the space ring, various resources and items pile up. Whether it is residual soldiers, discarded elixirs, demon cores, residual medicine, etc., or even the corpses and horns of some monster beasts, traces can be found in the space ring. If it were released, I'm afraid it would pile up like a mountain. This is worth at least tens of thousands of points. After a rough evaluation in his mind, Xiao Chen immediately issued the recycling order. Ding! The system has recovered all resource items, with a total value of 73,534 points. There are more than 70,000 points. Xiao Chen felt a little surprised when he heard the prompt from the system. It seems that there should be many good things in this batch of items. Otherwise, resources worth more than 400,000 spiritual crystals should not reach such a high score. With this wave of points in his account, he can upgrade the elixir again. When the thought came to an end, Xiao Chen mentioned this matter. What? You want to help us purify the elixir? Xiao Zhan, Xiao Mingyi and others looked ecstatic when they heard that Xiao Chen took the initiative to mention this matter. Well, you can find a way to buy some elixirs for cultivation, or elixirs for breaking through the realm. As long as the elixirs reach low grade. As long as I have enough resources, I can purify it into supreme grade elixir. By then, you will be able to use these pills to quickly improve your cultivation or achieve breakthroughs, and the safety of the Xiao family will be more secure. Xiao Chen nodded and immediately replied. Ha ha ha, you are worthy of being a descendant of our Xiao family. This character is really beyond words. Xiao Mingyi said with a happy smile on his face when he saw that Xiao Chen did not hide his clumsiness at all and spared no effort to devote himself to the family. He even wanted to ask Xiao Zhan to abdicate on the spot and directly let Xiao Chen be the head of the Xiao family. By the way, I almost forgot something important. When Xiao Mingyi was sighing, the second elder Xiao Qishong on the side suddenly slapped his thigh fiercely. Then he ran up to Xiao Chen and grabbed the other person's wrist with excitement. Xiao Chen, you are so outstanding both in appearance and talent. The children you will give birth to in the future will definitely be good ones. As the saying goes, good news should not go to outsiders. How about you take your sisterling Puff. Hearing Xiao Qishong's words, Xiao Chen almost spit out a mouthful of blood. What kind of brain circuit is this? Because his appearance and talent are so good, you suggested that he take Xiaoling in. Xiao Lauer, you are shameless. Even your own daughter is extrapolated, aren't you afraid that girl will rebel? Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Dalong on the side both shouted with wide eyes. He was obviously shocked by Xiao Qishong's idea. She dares. Xiao Chen is so outstanding and sensible. If she can warm Xiao Chen's bed and give birth to a baby, it will definitely be the greatest honor in her life. After hearing the words of Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Dalong, Xiao Qishong immediately blew his beard and stared. Besides, although we are both members of the Xiao family, my lineage and Xiao Chen's have been separated by several generations, and we have long been estranged in terms of bloodline. It's better to take this opportunity to get married. Maybe it can make the Xiao family's bloodline even better. It has been hundreds of years since the Xiao family was founded, and many of the descendants are now more than 10 generations apart. Even marriages of the same clan cannot be considered incest. Therefore, instead of asking Xiao Chen to find a few more foreign women, it would be better to find a few women from the Xiao family from another generation. On the contrary, it can avoid some family struggles and be more conducive to safeguarding the interests of the Xiao family. Hiss. I suddenly think this idea is feasible. After Xiao Qishong's fallacy, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Dalong's eyes lit up. Why didn't they think of this? Instead of taking advantage of foreign women, it would be better to take advantage of good girls from their own family. With the talent and qualifications Xiao Chen has shown, even if she works as a concubine next to her in the future, she will still get unimaginable opportunities. By then, they will be able to have very outstanding descendants, and even their grandchildren will be proud of themselves. Ha ha ha, Xiao Chen, what the second elder said makes sense. What do you think of my girl? She looks even more graceful than her mother, and her bloodline is 6 or 7 generations away from yours. If you two get married, it will be perfect. When the thought falls, Xiao Mingyi was also proud of Wang Po's selling melons, and he came to Xiao Chen with excitement and promoted. Damn it, I don't have a daughter, so I can't take advantage. Xiao Dalong, the third elder on the side, was very depressed when he saw this scene. He only had 3 useless sons, which made him feel very lucky in the past. With 3 consecutive children being male, his lineage is expected to flourish. But now he is so depressed that he can't say anything about such a good thing. Is it possible to make a reservation first and then he can go back and try to have a baby? Chapter 24. How could such a young kid reach the 7th level of spiritual aperture? He watched Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong, one on the left and the other on the right, selling their daughters to him. The corner of Xiao Chen's mouth couldn't help but twitch a few times, with a look of helplessness on his face. The eldest elder's daughter is named Xiao Meyer. She is 2 years older than him. She looks like a royal sister, but her temper is a bit hotter. Regardless of body shape or appearance, except for supreme grade like Kayan, few people can beat her. The second elder's daughter is named Xiao Ling'er, who is also 2 years older than him. She has a soft, cute and pure face, and she has a girl next door feel. Except for being slightly smaller in stature, she was no worse than Xiao Meyer in other aspects, and her breasts were even bigger than hers. No matter where he goes in Luyun City, he can attract many people to look back. Even the previous owner was often attracted to him. If Xiao Meyer and Xiao Ling'er knew that they were being promoted by their father, they would probably be so embarrassed that they would want to kill each other for justice. Every member of the Xiao family will be killed without mercy. Just when Xiao Chen was about to politely refuse, an old voice sounded coldly. Immediately afterwards, as a ray of light fell into the Xiao family, a roar shook the Xiao family like a thunderstorm, and there was an alarming movement in the Xiao family's front yard. Who is it? How dare you raid our Xiao family? Seeing this sudden change, the expressions of Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others changed, and they rushed out of the meeting room roaring. Anger, accompanied by murderous intent, swept across like a storm. Xiao Chen also turned cold for a moment and walked out of the meeting hall without saying a word. These guys really deserve to die if they dare to raid the Xiao family at this time. When several people rushed out of the meeting hall. When he arrived at Xiao's front yard in a few leaps, he could see that the newly repaired courtyard had once again been destroyed into ruins by this kind of raid. Many clan members were even injured and fell to the ground. This scene made Xiao Zan and others' eyes burn with anger. And above the Xiao family's gate, 2 old men stood floating in the air. A grotto heaven appeared behind everyone, and the vast aura was like a mountain, giving people an unshakable feeling. Even below the 2 of them, more than a dozen Xuanden realm experts exuded terrifying auras. He stared at everyone in the Xiao family like a jackal, with a cruel and bloodthirsty light in his eyes. These are the 2 supreme elders of the Lin family in Tiandu City, and the family's dozen or so powerful Xuanden realm elders. Except for the head of the family, Lin Yao, the other senior members of the Lin family can be said to have come out in full force. Such a terrifying force is enough to sweep across the entire Luyun City. Are you from the Lin family in Tiandu City? Looking at the seriously injured members of the Xiao family, Xiao Zan raised his head with cold eyes and shouted with murderous intent in his voice. There are forces that can send such a strong lineup and attack the Xiao family from the very beginning. Apart from the Lin family in Tiandu City, they couldn't think of anyone else. You Xiao family actually dare to use despicable means and join forces to kill the supreme elder of my Lin family. After Xiao Zan finished speaking, the 2 old men headed by him directly ignored Xiao Zan's questions, and one of them even asked in a serious voice. The person who spoke was named Lin Xiaoshan. He possessed the 6th level of Grotto Heaven realm and was the strongest member of the Lin family in Tiandu City. The other person's name is Lin Zhaofeng, and like the deceased Lin Shang'an, he was at the Grotto Heaven 5th level. After rushing to Luyun City without stopping, they did not kill the Xiao family immediately, but rushed to the city lord's mansion in Luyun City. Afterwards, during some threatening questioning, Lu Tianan asked some things. After learning that the strong man from the Grotto Heaven realm who invaded the Xiao family 2 days ago was none other than the supreme elder of the Lin family in Tiandu City. The group of people rushed to Xiao's house with murderous intent and hurt people without any scruples. After all, according to what Lu Tianan said, that day, the Xiao family united with a strong man from the Grotto Heaven realm, and it took a lot of effort to kill Lin Shang'an. The mysterious strong man was seriously injured as a result and had to hide in Xiao's house for recuperation. So this is a great opportunity for them to destroy the Xiao family and avenge Lin Shang'an. Using despicable means, and joining forces together. After hearing the old man's words, Xiao Zan, Xiao Mingyi and others' eyes narrowed, and they could see each other's doubts when they looked at each other. On that day, Lin Shang'an was clearly killed by Queen Medusa with one move. How come it reached the ears of these guys, but he was killed by a joint effort? Could it be that these guys were deceived? It seems that someone wants these guys to die, or wants these guys to die in the hands of the Xiao family, so that the Xiao family will get into more trouble. In this way, we can use the help of other forces to completely eradicate the Xiao family from Luyun City. When Xiao Zhan and others were doubtful, Xiao Chen couldn't help but flash his eyes and secretly guessed in his heart. The person who can deceive these fools is probably City Lord Lu Tianan. When the thought came to an end, Xiao Chen glanced in the direction of the City Lord's mansion, with a slight sneer on his lips. No matter what the purpose of the City Lord of Luyun City was in the beginning, being able to trick this group of people into coming to Xiao's house can be regarded as saving them a lot of effort. There was such a big movement and no one came out. When Xiao Zhan and others' expressions became exciting, Lin Zhaofeng glanced at Xiao Zhan and others coldly, and his words continued to echo in the Xiao family with murderous intent. It seems that the Grotto Heaven Realm powerhouse behind you is seriously injured and is recovering in seclusion. Without the help of another strong person, you, the second level of Grotto Heaven, and these few old, weak, sick and disabled people are still trying to compete with my Lin family. Boom. When the words fell, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng didn't intend to test them anymore. At this moment, they both exploded in cultivation, and the terrifying momentum swept away like a storm. In the Xiao family, no matter men, women, old or young, no matter pigs, dogs or beasts, no one will be left alive. As this killing order resounded throughout the Xiao family, more than a dozen elders of the revolving Dan realm also exploded in cultivation. One by one, like bloodthirsty monsters, they began to rush towards the inner courtyard of the Xiao family. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng, the senior figures of the Xiao family in front of them, were enough to crush and kill them. And their group of elders massacred the entire Xiao family. A bunch of trash who are being treated like dogs also want to destroy our Xiao family. It's really ridiculous. Seeing Lin Xiaoshan and others starting to take action, Xiao Chen raised his head with a sneer and looked at the group of people with cold eyes. A piercing killing intent also filled Xiao Chen's body. 7th level of spiritual aperture. When Xiao Chen revealed his murderous intent, not only Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng were frightened when they sensed the subtle fluctuations in Xiao Chen's cultivation. Even Xiao Zhan and others looked shocked. 2 days ago, Xiao Chen was only at the 3rd level of spiritual orifice, but unexpectedly, he has now reached the 7th level of spiritual orifice. In just 2 days, he broke through 4 minor realms in a row. Even the most evil genius in the Great Qian dynasty cannot achieve such an abnormal cultivation speed. Xiao Chen has the appearance of a saint. How can such a young kid reach the 7th level of spiritual aperture? There must be some kind of chance in this child. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng looked at each other, and they could see the speculation and horror in each other's eyes. But almost in the next moment, the eyes of both of them became extremely ferocious, like bloodthirsty monsters in the abyss. If such a young spiritual aperture realm expert were allowed to leave the Xiao family alive today, then the Lin family in Tiandu City would cease to exist in the future. This son must die. After reading the other person's eyes, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng didn't hesitate at all, and instantly turned into afterimages and headed straight for Xiao Chen. Since you all can't wait, let me try this. Seeing the 2 Grotto Heaven Realm powerhouses approaching rapidly, Xiao Chen showed no panic on his face and casually launched the Senluo Blood Prison Formation Disc. Chapter 25. I asked you to defend, but you actually attacked divine ability. Senluo Blood Prison Formation, rise up and destroy the 8 wastelands. As Xiao Chen formed a seal with his hands, he pressed it on the Senluo Blood Prison Array. The strange blood-red light shimmered and exploded in an instant. The formation patterns were like spider webs, radiating to the entire Xiao family in an instant. The figures of Lin Xiaoshan, Lin Zhaofeng and others were suddenly stagnated by the impact. This is Earth Rank Array. Feel this terrifying array power. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng shouted in surprise, obviously not expecting that the Xiao family would have such a trump card. But what about the Earth Rank Array? Facing absolute strength, it's just a mantis arm blocking the wheel. In a sneer, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng once again exploded with true energy, and 2 beast shadows, a tiger and a python, appeared behind them in Grotto Heaven. As the tiger python roared, 2 divine abilities shot down at Xiao Chen and others with terrifying power. Who told you this is the Earth Rank Array? Xiao Chen just sneered slightly when he heard this, and formed seals with his hands again at this time. Xiao Zhan, Xiao Mingyi and others all have a tacit understanding. In an instant, like stars circling the moon, seals were formed around Xiao Chen, and the vast amount of true energy crazily sank into the formation. The formation patterns that originally filled the sky and earth exploded into even more terrifying formation power at this moment. This is actually a heavenly rank array. Everyone, please get out of the formation's coverage area. Feeling the power of the formation that suddenly surged several times, the expressions of Lin Xiaoshan and others changed drastically. When his cultivation level exploded, he quickly stopped his body, turned around and retreated without hesitation. If it were an Earth rank array, they could still compete together. But if heavenly rank array, even if the other party's cultivation level is not as good as theirs, it is still enough to unleash a terrifying attack. Late, seeing Lin Xiaoshan and others retreating violently, Xiao Chen sneered and changed the seal technique again. Senluo suppresses the prison, and the sea of blood is boundless. As these words fell, the Senluo blood prison formation suddenly shook, and endless blood light shone throughout the Xiao family. Chains burned with bloody flames, like the tentacles of the abyss demon god, and pierced through Lin Xiaoshan and others in an instant. Quick! Defend with all your strength. Seeing the terrifying attack erupting from the Senluo blood prison formation, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng roared and immediately used divine ability to blast the chains all over the sky. At this time, the elders of the Lin family who were in the revolving core realm also had crazy bursts of cultivation. One after another divine ability killer moves were also launched with all their strength. FK, I asked you to defend, but you actually used divine ability to attack. Seeing that more than 90% of the Lin family's elders in the revolving core realm actually used their divine ability to attack, they planned to cooperate with their explosive formations. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng were so angry that their defenses were broken. Even the two supreme elders were not sure that they could receive the attack from the formation. How dare a bunch of weak scum in the revolving core realm come up to resist? Boom! Almost when Lin Xiaoshan roared. The chains also roared together with everyone's divine ability, and the ear-splitting roar resounded through Luyun City like thunder. The attacks of the dozen or so strong men in the revolving core realm of the Lin family were ruthlessly blasted away by the chains. More than a dozen powerful people in the revolving core realm were all like dolls, being ruthlessly thrown away by the impact. Each and every one of them spurted blood, obviously suffering heavy injuries. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng, two strong men from the Grotto Heaven realm, could barely block the bloody chains together. But under the impact of the formation attack, both of them were pushed to a disadvantage. Go to hell. Seeing that the dozen or so powerful men in the revolving core realm were seriously injured, there was no sign of pity on Xiao Chen's face. After sneering, the seal in his hand changed again. The chains burning with blood-colored fireworks were like blood-colored spears with eyes, and they caught up with the dozen elders in an instant. The gazes of Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng directly penetrated the chests of these dozen people. No, kill so many elders of my Lin family, your Xiao family will be destroyed. Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng were both stunned when they saw more than a dozen elders of the Xuandan realm in their family died tragically in the attack of the formation. The impact of divine ability, which was still able to sustain a stalemate, completely collapsed at this moment. The two beast shadows were ruthlessly blasted by the blood-colored chains, and both of them spurted out blood on the spot during the impact. And when the body shape is rolled back, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng did not dare to stay and fight to the death, and quickly rushed into the distance with the help of this recoil. As long as they can return to the Lin family, they can use Lin Feng's connections to persuade the powerful Tai Sword sect to come forward. By then, with Tai Sword sect's powerful foundation, even if the Xiao family has a heavenly rank array, it will only end up being destroyed. And the Xiao family's heavenly rank array will also become their trophy. But just when they rushed out, a red figure appeared in front of them strangely like a ghost. Immediately afterwards, before Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng could see clearly who this person was, a terrifying cultivation aura erupted like a volcano. There are no words. After Kayan appeared in the void, she raised her hand and pointed lightly at the two of them. Two sparks flew out immediately, and the next moment they turned into sword light, piercing towards the two of them. Universal Truth Realm Strong Man. Feeling that the surrounding space seemed to be frozen, Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng shouted in horror. Except for those who are above the Universal Truth Realm, even those in the Nirvana Realm cannot do this. Could this be the mysterious strong man behind the Xiao family? But didn't the Lord of Flowing Cloud City say that this was a wounded Grotto Heaven Realm powerhouse? Is this also called the Grotto Heaven Realm? All kinds of thoughts flashed through my mind before I had time to ask for mercy. Those two sword lights penetrated through their chests, completely ending their sinful and oppressive lives. In less than half an hour, all the powerful men from the Lin family in Tiandu City who invaded the Xiao family were turned into cold corpses. His daughter, are they all dead? Seeing this scene in front of them, Xiaozan and others were shocked. She is worthy of being Queen Medusa of the snake tribe, her movements are so terrifying. It turned out to be just in time. Seeing the figure floating in the sky, Xiao Chen also had a smile on his face. With such a strong man guarding him, ordinary cows, ghosts and evil spirits are not afraid of him. Let her wear this, she's really wearing it right. Seeing Kayan wearing a dress that wrapped her hot body, and her two slender legs wearing the suspender stockings he gave her, her whole body exuded a mature and charming feeling. Xiao Chen's eyes lit up slightly, and he couldn't help but sigh. Queen Medusa's new outfit is so stunning that it doesn't cost her her life. She really deserves to be Queen Medusa, she can be stunning in anything she wears. Sir, I'm keeping the whole body this time. Seeing Xiao Chen staring at her from below, Kayan's figure flashed slightly and came directly in front of Xiao Chen. Seemingly noticing that Xiao Chen was admiring her beautiful legs, Kayan immediately opened her mouth to divert Xiao Chen's attention. Chapter 26. Not only can the dogs not survive, but the eggs must also be shaken away. Well done. After hearing Kayan's words, Xiao Chen immediately looked away, paused and then continued. Your outfit is really attractive. Queen Medusa's new image, are there any stickers in the comment section? The words fell. Kayan, who originally had a relatively cold expression, actually had a blush on her pretty face. He lowered his head in embarrassment, but the corners of his mouth curved slightly. This shy look like a little girl made Xiaozan and others look stupid for a while. Who would have thought that the majestic Queen Medusa of the snake tribe would blush and be shy after Xiao Chen praised her casually? This scene simply refreshed their understanding. After Xiao Chen praised Kayan, he came to the bodies of Lin Xiaoshan and others, with a look of anticipation flashing in his eyes. O Nidofu, the infinite that heavenly venerable. Looking at the dead bodies on the ground, Xiao Chen clasped his hands together in a gesture of compassion. Although you all deserve to die, it is not good to die in peace. This young master is here to save you. After saying that, he issued a recycling command to the system. 2 Grotto Heaven Realm experts and a dozen or so Revolving Core Realm experts. The corpses of these people should be worth a lot of points. If they were all to be cremated, their value would be wasted. Waste must be reused and recycled. Ding. The system has recovered all the corpses, with a total value of 26,450 points. It's actually worth more than 20,000 points. These people deserve to die. After hearing the system prompt, Xiao Chen's eyes lit up slightly, with a look of surprise on his face. A strong man from the Grotto Heaven realm. It is equivalent to an Earth rank item. Of course, it cannot reach the high grade level, so it can only survive at about 5,000 points. And a strong person in the Schwanden realm. If the cultivation level reaches the 9th level of Schwanden, even if the body is relatively well preserved, it is equivalent to the profound rank supreme grade. At best, it's worth 1,000 points. Therefore, 2 Grotto Heaven realm experts and a dozen or so Schwanden realm experts are worth more than 20,000 points, which is pretty good. By the way, there are also these guys' space rings. There may be a lot of resources in them. After disposing of the bodies of these people, Xiao Chen put away the remaining najis from these people, with a look of anticipation on his face. Next moment, Xiao Chen didn't hesitate at all. His spiritual sense immediately penetrated into the naji and began to take stock of the resources in the naji. As expected of the senior figures of the Lin family in Tiandu City, all of them are extremely rich. Look at the space inside the ring. There are not only Earth rank techniques and Earth rank divine ability, but also all kinds of mysterious weapons, even heavenly and earthly treasures, and monster materials. Xiao Chen's face showed a look of ecstasy. The combined net worth of these dozen people is more than the resources they have received in the past few days. Some items can be reserved for synthesis or upgrade, and others can be exchanged for points. Look at the space inside the ring. There are many elixirs suitable for cultivation in the Grotto Heaven realm or the Revolving Dan realm, and there are also many mysterious weapons that have reached profound rank or Earth rank. Even for some very good divine ability skills, Xiao Chen didn't intend to exchange them for points. With a little use, these things can become the foundation of the Xiao family. Ding. The system has recovered all the designated items, with a total value of 78,630 points. Xiao Chen also looked excited when he heard the prompt from the system. If you include the points he earned before, his points are already nearly 200,000. These guys are really money-giving boys. Xiao Chen, how was the harvest? Seeing Xiao Chen put away the ring, with an excited look on his face, Xiaozan and others came over and asked. Not bad. With this amount of resources as support, the Xiao family's strength will rise several levels. After hearing the questions from Xiaozan and others, Xiao Chen turned around and said with a smile. It seems that this time the Lin family in Tiandu City has taken advantage of our Xiao family in disguise. Xiaozan smiled lightly when he heard this. But his brows still looked a little solemn, and he paused for a moment before continuing. But this time, so many senior members of the Lin family in Tiandu City have died, and the grievances between the two families can no longer be resolved. The other party will definitely retaliate crazily after receiving the news. If they ask the powerful Tai sword sect to take action, I'm afraid our Xiao family will be in even greater trouble in the future. Although the Xiao family has Medusa, a strong person, no matter how many strong people are sent by Tai sword sect, the Xiao family will have enough confidence to deal with it. But as the strong ones become more powerful, the world they come into contact with will undoubtedly become wider, and the other party may recognize Queen Medusa. Until then, that would no longer be a personal grudge, but would involve him being involved in a racial whirlpool. It doesn't matter. When Xiao Chen heard this, he waved his hand and whispered with a serious look. I will make them have no time to separate themselves and come here to cause trouble for the Xiao family. Hearing Xiao Chen's profound words, Xiaozan and others immediately made some guesses, and their pupils shrank violently. Chenur, do you want to kill the Lin family in Tiandu City? Feeling a little unbelievable, Xiaozan couldn't help but confirm. The idea of them is go. To cope with all changes by remaining unchanged, first stick to the Xiao family and delay its development slowly. When the Xiao family becomes stronger, all troubles will be vulnerable. After all, it has only been a few days, and the Xiao family's strength has grown by leaps and bounds. Not only have several people achieved breakthroughs in cultivation, but there is also a heavenly rank array that can hold on to the golden soup, and there is even Queen Medusa sitting in charge. In addition, Xiao Chen has a mysterious inheritance. If they can buy some time to develop, the Xiao family's strength will undergo a transformation. By then, even Tai sword sect will be unable to do anything to them. But they never expected that Xiao Chen's thoughts were contrary to theirs, and he actually wanted to go to Tiandu City to destroy the Lin family. That's right, our Xiao family is not a soft persimmon that can be manipulated by others. The Lin family has tried to destroy our Xiao family 2 or 3 times. If we don't send their family to hell, how can our Xiao family live in peace? Xiao Chen said with a serious voice when he heard the words, not hiding the murderous intention in his heart at all. To solve the problem, you have to deal with it at the root. It is not a good thing to be passively beaten all the time. Since this Lin family does not know how to live or die, then we must completely destroy him. When everyone in the Lin family is dead, he doesn't believe that Tai sword sect will fight with the Xiao family to the end for the Lin family. I will set off tomorrow and head to Tiandu City with Kayan. Before that, I will help the Xiao family upgrade some martial arts elixirs, and by the way, help some core clan members cleanse their marrow and cut their veins. Father and several elders will protect the family with peace of mind. As Xiao Chen's cold voice echoed, the surrounding temperature dropped to freezing point. Since the Lin family in Tiandu City made him completely murderous, not only would the other party not be able to survive as a dog from now on, he would even have to shake the eggs away. Hiss. We're leaving tomorrow. After hearing Xiao Chen's decisive decision, Xiaozan and others took a sharp breath. However, after a few people were silent for a while, they did not say anything to dissuade them. After all, with Queen Medusa here, no one should be able to threaten Xiao Chen unless a strong person of the same level takes action. If the Lin family in Tiandu City could be wiped out, the trouble could be completely solved. Chenur, although this trip is not risky, you must be careful in everything you do. Xiaozan patted Xiao Chen's shoulder with a solemn expression. He was very proud of having such a decisive son. Yeah, I will. Xiao Chen nodded when he heard this, and then, as if he thought of something, he spoke to Xiaozan and others. You can give me some inherited skills of the Xiao family first. I plan to help you all improve them before I leave. Chapter 27 Tonight. Let Meyer Linger seduce him. You can actually improve your martial arts. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiaozan and others couldn't help but take a deep breath and looked at Xiao Chen in disbelief. Just now, their focus was on destroying the Lin family, and they did not pay attention to Xiao Chen's words. Hearing Xiao Chen mention this matter again at this time, everyone's hearts were filled with turmoil. It is not easy to improve martial arts skills. It requires a profound accumulation of martial arts, and the attributes of the skills must match. Even old guys like them, who have been practicing for decades, can only improve some yellow rank martial arts. The Xiao family's inherited martial arts is at a high profound rank level. Even a Nirvana realm expert with matching attributes may not be sure that he can improve and upgrade it. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen would have the confidence to say this. It's not a big problem. When Xiao Chen heard this, he just smiled lightly and replied. These 4 words meant that everything was under control. Ha ha ha, my son Xiao Chen. Has posture of the great emperor. With Chen'er in the Xiao family, why worry about not rising up? Hearing Xiao Chen's confident answer, Xiao Zhan was so excited that he laughed wildly. After helping them cleanse their marrow and cut their veins, and purify their cultivation elixirs. They need talents and resources, but they just lack higher martial arts skills. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen can even improve his martial arts skills now, and his only shortcoming has been made up for. If the Xiao family can't rise, it will be really useless. Xiao Mingyi, Xiao Dalong and others on the side were also so excited that they were trembling slightly, looking at Xiao Zhan with envy. To be able to give birth to such a son, Kumba is really promising. Unlike some of them, none of the things they ejaculate can be used. If Xiao Chen becomes my son-in-law, the rest of my life will be glorious. Looking at Xiao Chen in front of them, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong both had this idea in their minds. Then his eyes kept flickering, as if he had made up his mind. Tonight, let Mayor Linger seduce him. When thoughts fall. Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong breathed rapidly, their eyes met and then quickly turned away, leaving Xiao Dalong with a puzzled look on his face. Young master can actually improve his martial arts. Kayan on the side also seemed a little uneasy after learning about the conversation of several people. She suddenly had a strong intuition that if Xiao Chen was given enough resources, he could even improve emperor-level martial arts. This means, from now on, she will follow Xiao Chen. As long as she collects enough resources, it will not be difficult to break through the Saint Realm. Even the more powerful Emperor Realm is not impossible to reach. After this thought came to an end, Kayan's breathing was also a little rapid, and she stared at Xiao Chen with brilliant eyes. Xiao Chen didn't pay attention to the strange looks from several people. After taking the Xiao family's inherited martial arts from Xiao Zhan, Xiao Chen turned around and returned to his private room. We will leave for Tiandu City tomorrow, and we have to rush for the next thing. Kayan saw Xiao Chen turn around and go back to the room without saying a word, so she followed him. In addition to protecting Xiao Chen, she also wanted to see how Xiao Chen improved his skills. After returning to the wing, Xiao Chen ignored Kayan and opened the properties panel. Host. Xiao Chen. Physique. Innate Dao body. Cultivation. 7th level of spiritual aperture. Kung Fu. The technique of creating the universe. Divine ability. Heavenly Demon Shadowless Step. Coiling Dragon Fist. Bawang Jin. Diamond Kung Fu. Points. 198,632. As expected, I have almost 200,000 points. Now I can spend them as much as I want. Looking at the points on the attribute panel, Xiao Chen showed a satisfied smile. Immediately afterwards, without the slightest hesitation, Xiao Chen took out the technique. In addition to the inherited skills given to him by Xiao Zhan, this pile of skill scrolls also contained those obtained by killing Lin Xiaoshan and others. Among them are 2 fire attribute skills, and their grades reach Earth rank low grade. There are also 6 fire attribute skills at the profound rank level. These are all auxiliary skills that can be used for synthesis. System, synthesize all the skills in front of you. After glancing at these skill scrolls, Xiao Chen immediately gave instructions to the system. Ding! The system has deducted 3,500 points and is synthesizing all the skills in front of the host for the host. As the system prompt sounded, a burst of dazzling white light shone. Ancient runes, like dancing sparks, kept flying out of the scroll. Under the gaze of Xiao Chen, the integrated union continues to gather together. What a miraculous method! Young master can actually directly extract the martial arts charm contained in the exercises. Seeing this scene in front of her, Kayan was shocked on the spot. I thought that Xiao Chen still needed to read the exercises one by one and integrate all the martial arts with his strong understanding. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen could extract the charm of all martial arts with just a wave of his hand. What exactly is this all-powerful means? This is the first time she has seen such an incredible thing in hundreds of years of life. She is now 100% sure that Xiao Chen must be the reincarnation of the Supreme Great Emperor. Ding! All the martial arts skills have been synthesized. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Earth rank Supreme Grade Martial Arts, Sky Fire Burning Heart Technique. When the system prompt sounds again, all the martial arts charms are integrated, union completed. A more powerful fire attribute technique was also imprinted on a scroll. Nearly 10 martial arts techniques can be synthesized into more advanced techniques by spending a few points. This function of the system is so powerful. Looking at the fire attribute technique in front of him, Xiao Chen had a look of satisfaction on his face. Low cost, high return. This is the core of turning waste into treasure. But Earth rank supreme grade is not enough, we have to upgrade it again. With a slight flicker in his eyes, Xiao Chen immediately ordered an upgrade. Although the Xiao family has the Earth rank supreme grade technique, which allows Xiaozan and others to cultivate to the Nirvana realm. But Xiao Chen's ambitions don't stop there. He wants to create an invincible family, and the higher the level of his skills, the higher. Ding! The system has deducted 35,000 points and is currently upgrading the Sky Fire Burning Heart technique on the host. As the white light burst out again, fire attribute runes appeared again. Immediately afterwards, in Kaien's shocked eyes, shadows continued to evolve in the flickering runes, and a more mysterious martial arts charm also burst out. Young master. Are you trying to deduce martial arts? Seeing this unprecedented martial arts deduction method, Kaien's small mouth immediately opened into an O shape, and she could almost fit a small egg inside. Xiao Chen's endless methods time and time again simply refreshed her knowledge in the past hundreds of years. This is really opening heaven's axe on the chrysanthemum platform, it's hard to keep your eyes open. Ding! The upgrade of Heavenly Fire Burning Heart technique has been completed, and the grade has reached Heavenly Rank Supreme Grade. When the system beep sounded again, the white light dissipated and the skill scroll fell into Xiao Chen's hands. Easily, a Heavenly Rank technique was born. The feeling of cheating is so cool. Seeing that this skill was enough for many forces to grab, Xiao Chen also had a satisfied smile on his face. This Heavenly Rank Supreme Grade technique is enough to make the Xiao family rise. In the future, when he has enough points, he will upgrade it to Saint Rank level martial arts. Next. You have to upgrade your divine ability and the pills for training. When the thought falls, Xiao Chen ignored Kaien who was beside him and was so shocked that his face was flushed, his breathing was a little short and his legs were weak. He took out a lot of pills and started upgrading in the same way. Chapter 28. Whether you can seize the opportunity depends on whether you are sensible or not. Sunset dusk. When Xiao Chen was upgrading the skill pills in the side room, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong were not idle either. The two met their daughter almost at the same time and told each other their plans. What? You want me to seduce brother Xiao Chen? Separated by several courtyards, Xiao Meier and Xiao Linger both looked at their father with shocked faces, obviously not knowing whether the old guy in front of them had taken the wrong medicine today. He actually asked them to seduce his own family brother. What's the look in your eyes, girl? You must know that Xiao Chen is now the true dragon of the Xiao family. In the future, he will definitely be able to step into the evil existence of Saint Realm. I don't know how many stunning beauties will kneel down and lick him in the future. Only while he has not yet soared to the 9 heavens can you have a chance in the Xiao family. Besides, there are several generations between you and him, and there is no moral or ethical relationship. If you can combine with Xiao Chen, you will be able to fly like a dragon and see a wider world in the future. And in the past few days, there have been 2 killings in the Xiao family. I believe you also know something about it. If Xiao Chen hadn't stepped forward to turn the tide, our Xiao family would have been crushed by powerful enemies. By then, the men of the Xiao family will surely die, and you women and children may also suffer inhuman torture. So in a sense, Xiao Chen is your savior. As the old saying goes, kindness is more important than heaven, so you should show it with your body. If your father and I weren't such a bad old man, I would have pounced on Mr. Chen and promised myself to him. Your mother gave birth to you to be so smart. In the past, I thought it was just to show off, but old man, I understand now. This is to make you a little more worthy of that boy Xiao Chen. Quote. 2 different rooms, almost the same rhetoric, made Xiao Meier and Xiao Linger's heads buzz. Under this almost brainwashing statement, an idea came to their minds. Is it possible? Is Xiao Chen the biological child of this old guy? I will help you create opportunities tonight, and then a man and a woman will be alone in the same room. Whether you can seize the opportunity depends on whether you are sensible or not. After explaining everything with serious words, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong left their respective daughters' rooms. Finally done. That night, Xiao Chen looked at the upgraded elixirs in front of him and couldn't help but have a satisfied smile on his face. These kinds of elixirs. It includes the essential elixirs required for cultivation in the revolving pill realm and grotto heaven realm. They are not only used for healing and cultivation, but also for breaking through realms and detoxifying. He even combined a lot of Xuanbing and divine ability. He spent a total of 150,000 points. As for these resources, apart from giving some to the Xiao family, he plans to keep the other part. After all, he also needs resources for his own cultivation, and it is impossible to contribute all of them to the family. Host. Xiao Chen. Physique. Innate Dao body. Cultivation. 7th level of spiritual aperture. Kung Fu. The technique of creating the universe. Divine ability. Heavenly demon shadowless step. Great wild true dragon fist. 5 elements heaven shaking seal. 9 turn golden body cover. Points. 28,368. There are only more than 20,000 points left. Looking at the changed attribute panel, Xiao Chen couldn't help but lament that he didn't have enough points. In less than one night, the 200,000 points were reduced by nearly 90%. If these points were converted into resources, they would be enough to buy most of Luyun City. The journey of spiritual practice really burns money. However, under the burning of this kind of points, his attributes change very obviously. Especially in the column where divine ability is located, many divine abilities have undergone transformation. The heavenly rank supreme grade divine ability is the heavenly rank supreme grade divine ability that he combined with the Panlong Fist and Bawang Jin, as well as some fragments of other divine ability martial arts. The 5 elements heavenly ranking seal utilizes the divine ability of 5 different attributes, and then upgrades it to the heavenly rank supreme grade divine ability after synthesis. As for the 9 turn golden body cover, it is heavenly rank supreme grade divine ability that Xiao Chen uses Vajra Kung Fu combined with some body refining techniques, and then upgrades after synthesis. These 3 heavenly rank divine abilities alone cost him 80 or 90,000 points. However, with the upgrade and transformation of divine ability, his strength also skyrocketed. All this effort is worth it. It's time to go out and upgrade the talents of some core tribesmen. When the thought falls, Xiao Chen immediately stood up and walked out of the wing. Unexpectedly, several people were already standing in the courtyard. These people were none other than Xiao Zan and Xiao Mingyi, the senior executives, but Xiao Delong also had a young man on his hands. He appears to be in a coma. This is. Seeing the unconscious young man in Xiao Delong's hands, it seemed that he was his son Xiao Ming, a mediocre person with average talent in the Xiao family. Xiao Chen suddenly asked with some confusion, could it be that this guy made some mistake? Ha ha ha, didn't you say you wanted to help some core tribe members cleanse their marrow and cut their veins? I just knocked this little brat unconscious and brought him here. This will also prevent this brat from knowing things he shouldn't know. After hearing Xiao Chen's question, Xiao Delong suddenly laughed. Xiao Ming is the less talented among his 3 sons. If Xiao Chen could be given a massage, it would change this kid's inferiority complex. Seeing Xiao Ming fainting like a dead pig, Xiao Chen immediately felt a little speechless. This father was really tough. He is no longer afraid of beating his own son into a fool. It doesn't have to be that way. As long as they are core members of the Xiao family and their character has passed the assessment, just bring them here directly. Doing this will make them suspicious. If they go to get to the bottom of it later, I'm afraid it will be easier to make some mistakes. After shaking his head helplessly, Xiao Chen immediately suggested. All creatures that he has used the system's abilities will have a soul contract planted by the system invisibly. This will prevent the other party from having any thoughts of harming him, and fundamentally eliminate the possibility of the other party harming him. Therefore, as long as the other person has been baptized by Xiao Chen, he is almost a loyal believer of him, and there is no need to spend a lot of time to be wary. Ha ha ha, although this little brat's character is not bad, it's always right to be careful in everything. After hearing Xiao Chen's suggestion, Xiao Delong smiled awkwardly. Chenur, are things going smoothly? Although Xiao Zan on the side was a little speechless, he didn't say much at this time. Instead, he asked Xiao Chen. Not bad. When Xiao Chen heard this, he also knew what Xiao Zan was referring to, and immediately responded with a faint smile. This time I helped the family improve several core martial arts, and the grades have all been upgraded to the heavenly rank level, which is enough for you all to practice to the celestial human realm. Hiss. Heavenly rank level. Before Xiao Chen finished speaking, Xiao Zan and others took a sharp breath, with disbelief on their faces. Ha ha ha, our Xiao family also has the heavenly rank technique, and this rise will be unstoppable. In their inner excitement and ecstasy, Xiaozan and others couldn't help laughing. Besides, I also helped you purify the elixir, which should allow the three elders to break through to the grotto heaven realm and help the family cultivate more than a dozen powerful people in the revolving Dan realm. I even allowed my father to improve his cultivation by several small realms in a short period of time. Seeing the ecstatic expressions of Xiaozan and others, Xiao Chen added after a pause. With that said, Xiao Chen took out several skill scrolls and a dozen pill bottles, and handed them to Xiaozan's hands. When Xiaozan, Xiao Mingyi and others saw these pill techniques in front of them, their bodies were shaking with excitement. Although Xiao Chen said it lightly, they knew how valuable these things were. If exposed to the outside world, each item would be enough to cause a sensation. It is also a precious treasure that the Xiao family has lost all their money and cannot afford to buy. But now they not only have it at their fingertips, but there are more than one of these treasures. All of this is thanks to Xiao Chen. Chen'er, what you did to the Xiao family will never be forgotten by the Xiao family. Finished. It seemed that words could not express this kind of gratitude. Xiaozan even wanted to pay homage to Xiao Chen at this moment. Even Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong followed Xiaozan and bowed down. This move immediately shocked Xiao Chen, and he quickly stopped the actions of several people. Chapter 29. This is indeed my biological father. He was beaten unconscious for real. Father, you don't have to be like this. This is what I should do. After raising his hand to stop the actions of several people, Xiao Chen waved his hand with a smile. Although it is true that he came here via transmigration, the Xiao family has been his roots in this world since he came to this world. Moreover, a person's strength is not truly powerful after all. Only when the people around him are strong together can he truly be proud of this world. Otherwise, if something unfortunate happens to him in the future, there won't even be anyone around him who he can rely on. That's really sad. There is nothing that should or should not be done. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, Xiaozan suddenly shook his head and said with emotion. Although you are a member of the Xiao family, you have incredible opportunities. You could have used a little favor to end the Xiao family's kindness in raising you, and from now on Long Yu Judian will cut off all cause and effect. But you didn't do that. Instead, you dedicated yourself to the Xiao family. We old guys see all this and remember it in our hearts. After a pause, Xiaozan patted Xiao Chen on the shoulder and continued in a very firm voice. We can't promise you anything here, but the Xiao family will never hold you back in the future. If you encounter any trouble in the future, the Xiao family will burn the last drop of blood for you. Xiao Mingyi, Xiao Dalong and others on the side, although they didn't say anything, their eyes said everything. Xiao Chen was so kind to them, even if he asked them to die in the future, they would never complain. Xiao Chen fell silent after listening, and couldn't help but feel a little ripple in his heart. His initial thoughts. He just wants to invest in the Xiao family and create an invincible family so that he can control the world in the future. But as he got more in contact with Xiaozan and others, he also developed a sense of belonging to this family. The Xiao family is indeed worthy of his cultivation. Okay, no more sensational words, whatever you want to do next, we will fully cooperate with you. Seeing Xiao Chen suddenly froze on the spot, looking very touched, Xiaozan smiled lightly and patted him on the shoulder. Well, the remaining resources I have are enough to transform 3 or 4 people. As for the quota, it is up to you to decide. Xiao Chen nodded when he heard this and then changed the topic. Ha ha ha, we have decided on this matter a long time ago. Each of our 3 elders has a quota, so I knocked this kid unconscious and brought him here. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, Xiao Dalong laughed immediately. Then he carried the unconscious Xiao Ming to Xiao Chen. When Xiao Chen heard this, his eyes fell on Xiao Ming, and then he turned on the identification function to check. Martial Dao is a talented yellow rank middle grade, no wonder he feels inferior in the Xiao family. After checking Xiao Ming's talent, Xiao Chen didn't make any ink marks at all. He squatted down and pressed the opponent's chest, and then gave an order to the system. System, upgrade his talent to high earth rank. Ding. The system has deducted 6,800 points and is upgrading the talent of the character Xiao Ming. As the system prompt tone fell, a dazzling white light also shone. Just for a moment, Xiao Ming's martial Dao talent was upgraded from yellow rank middle grade to earth rank high grade. That's it. I have already helped him cleanse his marrow and cut his veins once. His talent should have reached the earth rank level. As long as I teach you well in the future, you will be able to cultivate to the Nirvana realm. Looking at Xiaoming, who was still unconscious, Xiao Chen took back his right hand with a faint smile. Ha ha ha, I will definitely discipline this kid more in the future. I won't let you down for your hard work today. Xiao Dalong laughed when he heard this and lifted Xiaoming up again. However, when he saw that Xiaoming was about to wake up, he struck the opponent's neck with a knife, which made Xiao Chen's mouth twitch. This is indeed his own father, and he was beaten unconscious for real. There are 2 more people coming next. While speaking, Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong, and then a look of confusion appeared on his face. Each of these 3 elders has a quota, and they must all be their own children. The 3 elders had already beaten their son unconscious and brought him over. Why were the children of the other 2 elders missing? Ahem, both of our places are for our respective daughters. But because they are girls, it is not convenient to knock them unconscious and carry them in their hands. So we all knocked him unconscious and threw him in their wing. The next thing I can do is to trouble you, Xiaochen, to go to their boudoir and help them cleanse their marrow and cut their veins. Seeing Xiao Chen's confused look, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong also woke up, and the former said awkwardly after coughing dryly. After saying that, his eyes were still a little dodgy, as if he had done something bad. Quote. When Xiao Chen heard this, he fell silent again. For some reason, he had an unknown premonition. It seemed like these 2 people were plotting against him, but that didn't seem to be the case. After all, both Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong were secretly planted with contracts by the system, and there would be no thoughts of harming him. However, looking at the weird looks of the 2 of them, I always felt that something was wrong. Okay, let's go to Sister Xiao Meyer's place first. Shaking his head, Xiao Chen didn't bother to think too much and immediately responded. After saying that, Xiao Chen turned around and left, planning to go to Xiao Meyer's wing. No, you should go to my daughter's place first. At this time, Xiao Qishong, who had been silent until now, suddenly said something, which confused Xiao Chen again on the spot. He could only turn around and look at Xiao Qishong with a puzzled face, hoping that the other party would give a reason. Ahem, my daughter's wing is a little closer to here, so I'd better wash that girl's marrow and cut her veins first. Xiao Lauer, you fart. When Xiao Chen heard this, before he had time to say anything, Xiao Mingyi couldn't hold himself any longer. The distance between these 2 people's rooms and Xiao Chen's courtyard is only 70 feet symmetrical. How come your daughter is so close? Shameless Xiao Lauer. He actually wants to be the first to get there, how can he succeed? Xiao Mingyi, you only have 1 chance, and I won't let it go to you. Xiao Qishong was not afraid at all when Xiao Mingyi shouted loudly. He immediately rolled up his sleeves and started to do it. If Xiao Meyer was ignorant, it would mess up Xiao Chen's mood. Or maybe the other party is too aggressive and has lost interest in Xiao Chen. What will his daughter do next? Therefore, whoever is first in line will have a greater chance. This is a good opportunity to turn Xiao Chen into a son-in-law. No matter what, you can't just take advantage of this old guy. Why are you still arguing? Seeing the abnormal looks of Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong, Xiao Chen couldn't help but frown, and a look of suspicion appeared on his face. It's just cleaning the marrow and cutting off the pulse. Which one is different first? What's so controversial about this matter? Okay, you 2 are old and disrespectful guys. It's up to Chen'er to decide which wing he wants to go to first. How is it appropriate to argue like this in front of a junior? Xiao Zhan, who was on the side, could not tell the truth and shouted angrily. After the words fell, when Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong saw that Xiao Chen was a little suspicious, they both had sad smiles on their faces and did not dare to argue anymore. Inexplicable. Seeing the 2 people's surprise, Xiao Chen touched his nose and walked towards Xiao Meyer's wing with a speechless expression. Old boy, I hope your daughter doesn't screw up. Looking at Xiao Chen's leaving figure, Xiao Qishong gritted his teeth and whispered to Xiao Mingyi. Hee, no. Xiao Mingyi smiled obscenely upon hearing this, with a proud look on his face. I spent a lot of effort to convince that girl what to do. This thing is absolutely foolproof. As long as Xiao Chen lifts the quilt and sees, cough cough cough. As he spoke, Xiao Mingyi seemed to realize that he had let something slip, and he coughed a few times to cover it up. Anyway, children and grandchildren will have their own blessings. Whether this can happen or not depends on their luck. Xiao Qishong showed contempt when he heard this. He didn't expect this old boy to be so unrestrained. Why didn't he think of this? What a missed opportunity. However, given his daughter's well-behaved nature and her fondness for Xiao Chen, she probably would have taken the initiative. Xiao Dalong on the side obviously realized something when he saw the two of them sneaking around. There was a sad expression on his face. He only regretted that he had not given birth to a daughter, and now he could not even participate in this good thing. What do you need these handles for? As he became more and more depressed as he thought about it, he slapped Xiaoming on the head, which made him feel a little better. Chapter 30. What's the difference between this and cheating? The night is like water. It didn't take long for Xiao Chen to walk to Xiao Meier's courtyard, and then he went outside the wing and knocked on the door a few times. But after a while, there was still no movement inside, which made him frown. Could he still be in a coma? Thinking of Xiao Mingyi's words just now, Xiao Chen couldn't help but frown. After hesitating for a while, he still chose to push the door open and enter. Although it is very immoral and has no lower limit to break into a girl's boudoir late at night. But he came here to do serious things, and the other party's father also agreed. As long as you don't do anything outrageous, nothing will happen to you. As the door was pushed open, the scent filled the nostrils. The various crystal pendants in the room shimmer with hazy light, giving it a beautiful and dreamy feel. However, Xiao Chen came here to do business and had no intention of admiring these accessories. After opening the bead curtain, he came to the big bed. Looking at the large quilt on the bed, it seemed to be covering a person, only the outline of a human figure was exposed. It should be Xiao Meier who was knocked unconscious. Image of Xiao Meier. However, the quilt cover was tight, not even a hair was exposed. You still have to confirm. After muttering something, Xiao Chen lifted the sheets. After confirming that the other party is really Xiao Meier, I plan to upgrade the martial Dao talent for the other party. Next moment, as the red sheet was lifted by Xiao Chen, a burst of hazy white light, with 2 touches of bright red, almost blinded his eyes. Hiss. What the hell is this? Seeing this blood-soaking scene in front of him, Xiao Chen's head was buzzing on the spot. Damn it, Xiao Meier is not wearing any clothes. Could it be that Xiao Mingyi knocked the other party unconscious and then asked the maid to take off his clothes? Are you really not afraid of something happening to your daughter when you deceive her like this? When Xiao Chen was holding the sheet in confusion, Xiao Meier suddenly opened her eyes at this moment. Their eyes met, and the room was dead silent. Next moment, as a scream rang out, Xiao Meier pulled the sheet away and wrapped her proud thing tightly. What? I'm actually here to help you cleanse your marrow and cut your veins. I didn't expect it to be like this. You believe me. I really don't mean any harm. Seeing Xiao Meier looking at him nervously with a shameful expression, Xiao Chen suddenly explained incoherently. Damn, I believe in the system's contract too much. He thought Xiao Mingyi and others would not harm him, so he didn't think too much or take precautions. Unexpectedly, he was tricked by this old guy. Even his own daughter was thrown into his face. Was this his biological father, the one he was specifically targeting? It's not your fault. I sleep by myself. I like not wearing clothes. Seeing Xiao Chen's helpless look, Xiao Meier didn't get angry, but said with a face of shame. In fact, it was her father who gave her the idea that something like this happened. Let her lie on the big bed without any clothes and pretend to be unconscious, and then wrap her whole body tightly with a sheet. Xiao Chen will definitely check after entering the door, and 9 times out of 10, he will lift her sheets. This can then create a misunderstanding that will bring the two people closer together. After such a charming incident, if she takes the initiative in the future, it is really possible for them to get together. Xiao Meier was a little resistant at first, but she was brainwashed by her father for a long time. In addition, Xiao Chen was already very outstanding in the Xiao family, and now he has become the person with the highest status in the Xiao family. If you can have such a man as your partner, your future life will not be any worse. So Xiao Meier agreed to do this amidst all the odds. Speaking of it, she still felt a bit despicable, so she didn't have the shame to blame Xiao Chen for this matter. Like sleeping naked. Hearing Xiao Meier's words, the corner of Xiao Chen's mouth twitched. Speak the truth. He used to have this special habit in the summer. Unexpectedly, a beauty like Xiao Meier also has a special hobby of sleeping naked. No, shouldn't she have been knocked unconscious? Why are you sleeping again now? Brother Xiao Chen, what do you want to do next? Just when Xiao Chen's thoughts were turning and he realized something was wrong, Xiao Meier also spoke at this time. That kind of royal sister-like voice carries a kind of nervousness and expectation. Coupled with the situation, the scene, and the specialness of the words, it all makes people think a lot. How does Sister Meier want to solve it? Xiao Chen raised his brows slightly when he heard this, and he didn't look panicked at all. He just asked with a half smile. Xiao Meier's temper is a bit hot. Could it be that he wanted to beat him up or gouge his eyes out? Although this is an inadvertent incident, I also showed you my body. Sister's requirements are not high. If brother Xiao Chen wants to start a family from now on, just let my sister be your concubine. Xiao Meier said these words with great shame in her heart. Xiao Chen couldn't help but widen his eyes immediately, and even wondered if he heard it wrong. Unexpectedly, Xiao Meier's request was to be his concubine. What is the difference between this and flipping? Don't worry, although we are called sister and brother, our clan bloodlines have become estranged, so it will not have any impact on the children. When Xiao Chen was shocked, Xiao Meier added this sentence, which made Xiao Chen's head buzz. Now let's talk about children. Isn't the development a bit too fast? Isn't it a bit abrupt? Seeing that Xiao Chen was stunned, Xiao Meier asked awkwardly. This is the first time in her 21 years of life that she has been so bold with a man. The most outrageous thing is that the other party is 3 years younger than her and is still a member of her tribe. If she hadn't been so thoroughly brainwashed today, she wouldn't have had the courage to say these words. If brother Xiao Chen can't accept it for a while, sister will have plenty of time to wait for you slowly in the future. After a pause, Xiao Meier added, let's talk about these things later. Xiao Chen also came to his senses at this time, coughed dryly and waved his hand. I want to cleanse your marrow and cut your veins now. The great elder should have told you. If there's nothing important, let's start now. Suppressing the restless thoughts in his heart, Xiao Chen said in a low voice. Sister understands. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiao Meier nodded. Next moment, she looked nervous and ashamed, wrapped herself in a sheet and straightened her proud body, indicating to Xiao Chen that he could take action next. You. What are you doing? Seeing Xiao Meier's seductive movements, there was also a large expanse of snow that could not be covered, and even the deep ravine. Xiao Chen almost went berserk on the spot. Very meow. He is a strong-blooded man, are you really not afraid of being ravaged by him if you are so seductive? If he hadn't come to Xiao Meier's wing today, he wouldn't have known that this clan sister who usually had a hot temper could be so flawless when she got really excited. Is this still a great beauty that is difficult for ordinary people to pursue? Why do you want him to execute the other party on the spot now? Chapter 31 I swear to the death not to be Lu Shahui. Is there something wrong with my cooperation? Seeing Xiao Chen's big reaction, Xiao Meier asked in surprise. Even though she took such initiative, Xiao Chen still looked broken. Does it mean that you have to be naked? Quote. Hearing Xiao Meier's words, Xiao Chen's mouth twitched and he spoke helplessly. I didn't ask you to cooperate like this. Something might happen if you act like this. After saying that, Xiao Chen could only change his gaze and try to calm down the unknown fire in his body. Such a tempting scene, really. If you look at it one more time, it will explode. If you look at it again, it will melt. If Xiao Meier provoked him like this again, he couldn't guarantee that she wouldn't go out of her way. My father said that when you clean someone's marrow and cut their pulse, you must press on their chest. Although there are differences between men and women, you have already seen me naked, and I am destined to be your concubine from now on. So it doesn't matter if I ask you to press my chest again. I'm mentally prepared now. Seeing the painful look on Xiao Chen's face, Xiao Meier looked a little ashamed, but still very considerate. Anyway, I've already risked my life, so there's no harm in being more proactive. After all, what her father said was right. Xiao Chen is a monster, and he will definitely take off for 9 days in the future. If she doesn't seize the great opportunity to get close to him while he's still young, she might not even be qualified to let him take another look in the future. Puff. Hearing Xiao Meier's ridiculous remarks, Xiao Chen couldn't hold himself any longer at this moment. The evil fire in his body also boiled to the extreme, making him feel like his body was going to explode. A supreme-grade beauty has taken the initiative to do this. If he doesn't come up, it will seem a bit hypocritical, and it will also delay others and make himself even more frustrated. In my previous life, I was submissive and could only humbly envy others. I will transmigrate here in this life. If I still live a miserable life, then what will I do if I transmigrate here? I swear to death, I won't do anything like Lu Shahui. As the thoughts in his mind fell, Xiao Chen suddenly raised his head, revealing a wolf-like gaze. Sister Meier, to truly cleanse your marrow and cut your veins, you have to do this. After saying that, Xiao Chen roared and rushed forward. Xiao Meier was so frightened that she exclaimed, An hour later, I didn't expect that just 2 days after Transmigrate came here, there would be stunning beauties rushing to transfer. Looking at Xiao Meyer, whose delicate body was dripping with sweat and fainted from exhaustion, Xiao Chen said with a sigh on his face. Originally, I wanted to restrain myself and not want to touch Xiao Meyer. However, I couldn't hold it back in the end. If Kyan found out about this, I wonder if she would alienate him. Damn, I'm really a scumbag eating from the bowl and looking at the pot. Shaking his head to suppress the distracting thoughts in his heart, Xiao Chen immediately despised himself. However, he was not a dedicated person to begin with. From the first day he came to Transmigrate, he had already set a goal for himself. In this life, he not only wants to become the strongest man in the Kanglan world, but he also cannot miss the woman he likes. Instead of being a hypocrite who is dedicated on the outside but dirty inside, it is better to be a free playboy from the bottom of his heart. So at this moment, Xiao Chen directly chose to release his nature. As for Kyan, this great beauty, we can only slowly match her up in the future. When his thoughts were open-minded, Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Meyer and then used his identification function. My cultivation is only at the 5th level of Kaiyuan, and my talent is only at the low profound rank level. After checking Xiao Meyer's attribute information, Xiao Chen immediately issued instructions to the system. The system will upgrade Xiao Meyer's talent to Earth rank Supreme Grade. Xiao Chen originally wanted to upgrade her to Heavenly rank. After all, this was also the first woman he possessed. However, thinking that I only have about 20,000 points left, and I have to help Xiaolinger upgrade the martial Dao talent later, I can only wait for the opportunity to upgrade in the future. Ding! The system has deducted 8,600 points and is upgrading the talent of the character Xiao Meyer. As the system prompt tone fell, a dazzling white light also flashed and erupted. Xiao Meyer was still asleep in almost a moment. Her talent soared from profound rank to Earth rank Supreme Grade. Even the essence remaining in her body was refined, and her cultivation level easily broke through to the 7th level of Kaiyuan. Done. Now it's time to go to Xiaolinger's wing. I hope nothing will happen again. Looking at Xiao Meyer who was sleeping soundly, Xiao Chen didn't wake her up. After murmuring, he covered the other person with quilt, got up and walked out of the room. After sleeping with Xiao Meyer, wouldn't it be necessary to call him father-in-law when facing Xiao Mingyi from now on? Thinking about this thing gives me a headache, and I don't know how to solve it. There was also an hour's delay. I don't know what's going on with Xiaolinger. She must have fallen asleep after waiting for so long, right? It took me an hour to come out. It seems like it's done. When Xiao Chen walked out of Xiao Meyer's courtyard, several figures emerged from the bushes outside the courtyard. Xiao Mingyi looked at Xiao Chen leaving and murmured with some joy. Although he didn't know the specific situation in the courtyard, the man and the woman stayed in the room for an hour. If nothing happened, no dog would believe it. Now that the two of them are in love, as long as Xiao Meyer is not stupid enough to betray each other, she will definitely be able to fly to the branches and become a phoenix in the future. The rest of his life was finally settled, and all his hard work was finally not in vain. Look at what you are doing to this old guy. If Xiao Chen sees you in the future, he will have to call me father-in-law. Xiao Qishong on the side said a little sourly. Now Xiao Chen has just met Xiao Meyer, a beautiful woman, and may be a little disappointed when he sees Xiaolinger. If Xiaolinger fails to seize the opportunity, it will be a real loss to his lineage. Ha ha ha, that little girl of yours is no worse than my mayor. Besides, you just ran to give me advice. I'm sure we'll get married in pairs next. Hearing Xiao Qishong's sour words, Xiao Mingyi couldn't help laughing wildly, his face smiling like a chrysanthemum in bloom. This made Xiao Qishong's teeth itch, and he could only pray secretly in his heart that his daughter would be better. Damn, two disrespectful guys, cheating on their own daughter like this. Xiao Delong, who was following from the side, saw Xiao Mingyi's proud face and Xiao Qishong's expectation. He was so jealous that his back molars almost broke. Damn it. Among the 3 elders of the Xiao family, he is the only one who does not have a daughter. I used to think it was nothing, but when I saw that Xiao Mingyi had become Xiao Chen's father-in-law, he even wished he could turn his son into a girl and send it to that boy Xiao Chen, so that he might be able to call him father-in-law. It's really fate that makes people suffer, and it's so painful to lose a great son-in-law. Xiao Chen did not notice Xiao Mingyi and others staying there at this time. When his head felt a little mushy, he also came outside Xiaolinger's room. Looking at the dim light inside, he raised his hand and knocked on the door. Chapter 32. one after another. It's my luck today. Is he brother Xiao Chen? The door is unlocked. You can just come in. Xiao Chen had just knocked on the door when a crisp voice came from inside the room, making Xiao Chen stunned for a moment. I didn't expect that Xiaoling would be waiting in the room after such a long time. Then I'm coming in. After pondering for a while, Xiao Chen opened the door and walked in without thinking much. Inside the wing, there is also a faint fragrance that hits the nose, making people feel that their blood is a little bit impatient. In the dim light, at a glance, Xiao Chen saw Xiaoling sitting in front of the bed, looking as shy as a bride waiting for her husband to enter the room. This shy appearance, coupled with the beautiful face, made Xiao Chen slightly startled. She is indeed another beauty of the Xiao family. This appearance and figure are not inferior to Xiao Meier in any way, and even the giant thing that is about to come out is slightly better. Image of Xiao Linger. Sister Linger knows I'm coming. Feeling that the atmosphere was a bit awkward, Xiao Chen coughed dryly and spoke. Well, my father told me in the evening. Brother Xiao Chen wanted to come over to help me clean my marrow and cut my pulse, so I waited for Brother Xiao Chen in the wing. I didn't expect that the wait would last an hour. Xiaolinger nodded when she heard this and replied with a bit of sourness. There are two beauties in the Xiao family. One is Xiao Meier, and the other is her. Unexpectedly, before coming to her wing, Xiao Chen had already gone to Xiao Meier's place and stayed there for an hour. This made Xiaolinger, who had always liked to compare with Xiao Meier, suddenly feel like she was being overpowered by Xiao Meier. Ahem, something happened and there was a delay. After hearing Xiaolinger's somewhat resentful words, Xiao Chen coughed twice and changed the subject. Since Sister Linger knows the purpose of my coming, let's start now without further ado. As long as Xiaolinger is dealt with, he can go back to sleep. He has not forgotten that he has to rush to Tiandu City tomorrow to completely wipe out the Lin family. Are you in such a hurry? Xiaolinger was startled when she heard this, and then thought of Xiao Qishang's explanation. Her pretty face turned red at this moment. After saying that, under Xiao Chen's slightly puzzled eyes, Xiaolinger suddenly took off her clothes. This scene made Xiao Chen's pupils shrink violently, and there was a roar in his mind. What the hell? What are you doing? When his head was in a mess, Xiao Chen covered his head with a collapsed expression. An hour ago, Xiao Meier wanted to take the initiative to come up, but she was still wrapped in a sheet, but Xiaolinger took off her clothes as soon as she came up. Doesn't this allow people to live? Aren't you going to wash your marrow and cut your veins? Seeing Xiao Chen's collapsed look, Xiaolinger raised her head with shame and suddenly asked with some confusion. Yes, I want to help you wash your marrow and cut your veins, but I didn't tell you to take off your clothes. Looking at Xiaolinger's innocent face, the scene was confusing. After Xiao Chen took a deep breath to calm down, he replied helplessly. If you don't take off your clothes, how can you wash your marrow and cut your veins? After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiaolinger pulled up her clothes and covered her chest, and asked with a face of shame and confusion. She remembered her father and told her several times. Xiao Chen's marrow cleansing and pulse cutting method is special in 100 million ways, and he has to do male-female things with the other person. And he had discussed with Xiao Zhan that he would betroth her to Xiao Chen in the future. Although she is not the official wife, it is enough to clear her name. And Xiao Qishang also gave special instructions. Tell her not to be too shy, and to take the initiative when the other person comes in. Anyway, she will have to experience it in the future. If she is defeated by Xiao Meier, then she will really fail in the future. After being brainwashed by such remarks and dissatisfied with Xiao Meier, Xiaolinger gave up. But now, Xiao Chen's reaction seems a bit wrong. Who said that cleansing marrow and cutting pulses is like this? Isn't this Chun just being a hooligan? Xiao Chen couldn't help but twitch the corner of his mouth when he heard this. Xiaolinger must have been deceived by Xiao Qishang. These two elders of the Xiao family. Do you all like to trick your daughter like this? After being planted with a contract by the system, the two elders' fanaticism towards him has reached the point of fanaticism. Even his daughter wished that he would be lucky enough to make these people feel prosperous. But, if you don't take off these clothes, how can you do things between men and women? After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Xiaolinger was so shy that she almost exploded. She raised her head and asked with an innocent face. Okay. Do things between men and women? Hearing Xiaolinger's innocent question, Xiao Chen's blood pressure couldn't help but rise. When did he need to perform male-female acts in order to cleanse his marrow and cut his veins? What did Xiao Qishang, the second elder, explain? Sister Linger, you let your father trick you. Actually, as long as I can get in touch with you, I can help you cleanse your marrow and cut your veins. There is no need to do anything male-female. After suppressing the restlessness in his heart, Xiao Chen could only explain the truth. Wah! What? Xiaoling was stunned on the spot when she heard this, and she became a little at a loss. Then I just showed you my body, and now you are telling me this. After saying that, mist began to fill Xiaoling eyes, and she raised her head and stared at Xiao Chen with a delicate and innocent expression. That helpless expression, coupled with that beautiful face, and the disheveled upper body. It's enough to make any man feel pity after looking at it. Quote. Hearing Xiaoling words, Xiao Chen didn't know how to answer for a moment. Sister Ling how do you want to solve it? After a moment of silence, Xiao Chen asked tentatively. Now that I've shown you Sister Ling body, from now on I can only pledge myself to you. I hope that brother Xiao Chen will not let his sister down. Xiaoling raised her head with a tearful smile after hearing this. After saying these words with a shy look, she let go of her hands and rushed towards Xiao Chen. Brother Xiao Chen, it's time for us to get down to business. After saying that, before Xiao Chen could say anything, Xiaoling blocked Xiao Chen's mouth. Under this offensive, Xiao Chen's pupils couldn't help but dilate. Sure enough, I still have to score twice. An hour later, one after another for free, today is a lucky break. Looking at Xiaoling who fell asleep, Xiao Chen was also surprised. Although a bit passive tonight. But no matter what, these two people will be his weak point from now on, and he will not recognize others after lifting his pants. When thoughts fall, Xiao Chen's mouth curved slightly. Kaiyuan 6th level, profound rank middle grade qualification, cultivation level is a bit better than Xiao Meyer. After using the appraisal function to check Xiaoling attributes, Xiao Chen immediately gave the system an instruction to upgrade his talent. Ding! The system has deducted 7,800 points and is upgrading the talent of the character Xiaoling. As the system prompt tone fell, the dazzling white light also lit up. In just the blink of an eye, Xiaoling talent was upgraded from profound rank middle grade to earth rank supreme grade, and her cultivation level broke through 2 minor realms in a row and reached the 8th level of Kaiyuan. It's done. Let's go back and have a rest. We'll set off early tomorrow morning. After covering Xiaoling with the quilt, Xiao Chen left the wing and walked towards his courtyard. Today's ridiculous things kept echoing in my mind, and the idea of becoming stronger quickly emerged in my heart. In this world, the strong can do whatever they want, but the weak are destined to lose everything. If you cannot become a truly strong person, the good things around you will be short-lived. Only by becoming stronger quickly can he hold on to everything. Chapter 33 Queen Medusa panicked and forced herself to attack. Ha, it's done. Another hour. Boy Chen is really awesome. Xiao Qishong, who was watching outside the courtyard, couldn't help laughing wildly when he looked at Xiao Chen's leaving figure. As expected of his good daughter who was always peeing and pooping, she finally did not disappoint his old father tonight. I didn't expect that an old boy like you would succeed. But after all, I am still one step behind my daughter. From now on, Mr. Chen must call me father-in-law first. This old man, must be behind me. Seeing Xiao Qishong's embarrassed look, Xiao Mingyi on the side said that he was trying to steal the spotlight. You fart, it's up to Chen to decide who he wants to call first. It's not like your daughter takes down Boy Chen first, he has to call you this old guy first. After hearing Xiao Mingyi's words, Xiao Qishong immediately retorted. Hey, Mr. Xiao, are you itchy? I'll loosen the soil for you. Seeing Xiao Qishong's arrogant look, Xiao Mingyi immediately sneered and geared up, and then rushed towards the opponent with a strange smile. A childlike fight ensued between the two men. When Xiao Dalong on the side saw this scene, his face couldn't help but twitch. The daughters of these two damn old guys fell in love with Xiao Chen, and they all started squealing. Xiao Chen didn't have the heart to pay too much attention to these three disrespectful guys. However, when returning to his courtyard, Xiao Chen suddenly found a figure standing quietly in the center of the courtyard. This person is Kai Yan. Miss Kaiyan hasn't rested yet. Seeing Queen Medusa looking up at the bright moon, Xiao Chen approached and asked in surprise. The moonlight is very beautiful tonight, so I couldn't help but take a few glances. It's just that the Xiao family just seemed a little uneasy. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Kaiyan said inexplicably, and her voice seemed to be full of jealousy. This made Xiao Chen stiffen slightly, and his expression became a little guilty. Not calm. Is this a hint? There's too much movement tonight. Hiss, could it be that Queen Medusa has been spying on him with her spiritual sense tonight? Thinking of this problem, Xiao Chen panicked a little. It felt like he was caught and raped in bed, but the next moment he couldn't help but froze. It's not right. There was no special relationship between him and Kyan, so why did he make himself feel so guilty? Isn't this purely a disease? Men must be calm and take the initiative. It is said that Queen Medusa has a cold nature. I never thought that Miss Kyan would fall in love with her. When the thoughts fall in my mind, Xiao Chen just smiled lightly and resolved the invisible embarrassment. But although the moonlight is beautiful, don't delay resting. After saying that, Xiao Chen didn't stop for long and walked straight into the side room. Although he intends to win over Kyan, there is no need to pursue her too much. To explain everything too humbly will make you more passive. Just let everything take its course. Master, do you think I'm too cold? Seeing Xiao Chen walking back to her room, Kyan's eyes couldn't help but dim. As a snake human, she has a cold nature. And Xiao Chen is the one person in her life who can make her mood fluctuate, and even make her want to protect her for the rest of her life. So after she realized that Xiao Chen was having an affair with 2 women, she felt a little uncomfortable. Then I stood in the courtyard looking at the moon and meditating. But after some calm thinking, she realized that she was not qualified to interfere with Xiao Chen. After all, not only was her life saved by the other party, she also received a great favor from the other party and was able to repair and upgrade her inner armor. Which human woman the other party likes is their freedom and pursuit. It was impossible for her to interfere in any of Xiao Chen's private life like a queen. Could it be that I have to be like those 2 people, be more proactive and gentle, so that the young master will like me? When thoughts become confused, this thought came to Kyan's mind, which made her pretty face blush slightly. Queen Medusa, who is a snake tribe, wants to make her take the initiative towards a man. This difficulty for her is no less than breaking through the saint realm. No, the young master is not an ordinary man. If it were me, I would never take the initiative. Maybe he won't be able to occupy a place in his heart in this life. I can't miss the right son, the sun, because of my coldness and arrogance. I must learn to take the initiative to cater to him. During this self-strategy, Kyan also raised her head suddenly, with a look of determination on her face. As the reincarnation of the Supreme Great Emperor, the young master has never seen any woman in his previous life. Even if I think about it, I don't like women who are jealous of each other. I will be accompanied by more excellent women in the future. So I want to occupy a place in Xiao Chen's heart. You can only make yourself better, and you can share more things with each other, and you can't be jealous over trivial matters. Otherwise, she and Xiao Chen will go further and further apart. After thinking about this, Kyan felt enlightened and her eyes became brighter. Although this decision is a bit ridiculous, it was enough to make the old snake tribe member feel extremely ashamed and humiliated, but she believed that she would not regret this decision in the future. Starting from tomorrow, I will take the initiative. After suppressing the thoughts in my heart, Kyan resisted the idea of going in to seduce Xiao Chen, and then returned to her private room with a thoughtful look on her face. She had to think carefully about how to take the initiative without being rude and at the same time draw closer to Xiao Chen. It's really nerve-wracking. At the same time, the Lin family in Tiandu City. Although it was almost late at night, but Lin Yao's study was still brightly lit, and he looked very restless and impatient. During the 2 days when Lin Xiaoshan and Lin Zhaofeng led many elders to Luyun City to destroy the Xiao family, he was always in a state of unease for some reason. It seems that something will happen during this trip. Therefore, when Lin Yao didn't know whether the trip was going well or not, Lin Yao couldn't calm down at all. Master, Lu, there is news from Luyun City. Just when Lin Yao felt more and more uneasy, a man rushed in a panic and threw himself on the ground like a dog eating shit. The Supreme Elder and the others are all dead. Boom. As the man finished speaking, thunder exploded in Lin Yao's mind, and his aura became chaotic. What did you say? Lin Yao rushed directly to the man and lifted him up, his eyes instantly filled with bloodshot eyes. Those are 2 Grotto Heaven Realm powerhouses, and a dozen or so Xuanden Realm powerhouses, enough to sweep across the entire Luyun City. How could they all be dead? At the end of the sentence, Lin Yao yelled out on the spot, spitting directly into the man's face. You can't blame him for being so out of sorts. After all, they are more than 90% of the top experts in the Lin family. Once they die, it will be a devastating blow to the Lin family. Master, this is absolutely true. Being picked up by Lin Yao on the spot, the man's legs were so frightened that he continued with a trembling voice. It is said that two supreme elders led their men into the Shao family, and suddenly there was a bloody light rising into the sky from within the Shao family. It seemed to be a terrifying heavenly rank killing array. After that, the supreme elder and others were no longer seen. Heavenly rank formation. After hearing the man's report, Lin Yao felt as if his body had been drained, his hands weakly let go of the man, and he collapsed to the ground on the spot. The Lin family.is finished. The three great Grotto Heaven Realm elders and a dozen or so elders of the Revolving Core Realm all died in just a few days. He is the only head of the entire Lin family, and there are a bunch of deacons who can't support the situation. How can they defend the Lin family in Tiandu City? No, the Lin family is not over yet. Lin Feng is still here. He may be able to save the Lin family. Thinking of his son Lin Feng, an inner disciple of Tai Sword sect. Lin Yao stood up tremblingly and immediately sent a message to Lin Feng. If he could please the elders of Tai Sword sect, he could use the fact that the Shao family has the heavenly rank formation as bait. Maybe we can use the power of Tai Sword sect to destroy the Shao family, and the Lin family can find a chance to survive in the cracks. Chapter 34 Yunxi. Why are you hiding under my quilt? Finally I can rest. Back in the private room, Xiao Chen walked straight to the big bed, stretched out and lay down on it. But at this same moment, an exclamation came from the bed. This made Xiao Chen's expression freeze on the spot. Is there someone under the covers? Feeling something strange underneath him, Xiao Chen thought there was an assassin and grabbed him underneath him with his backhand. Then, when another exclamation sounded, Xiao Chen caught a ball. It is warm, soft and elastic in the hand. The size is just right to cover his entire palm, and it also has a grainy feel in the center. Damn, this feels a bit familiar, could it be? Feeling FKED up in his heart, Xiao Chen stood up and lifted off the quilt. One was wearing thin pajamas and had an exaggerated figure. The cute girl, who looked nervous and ashamed, also appeared in front of Xiao Chen. Yunxi, why are you hiding under my blanket? Xiao Chen looked at the cute girl in front of him with a collapsed expression, and almost covered his head and shouted his brother's slogan. This peach blossom tribulation is never over, right? I just took care of Xiaomeier and Xiaoling and suppressed Kayan with her aura, but I didn't expect that Yunxi would come here again. I want to help the young master warm the bed. Seeing Xiao Chen's unhappy look, Yunxi couldn't help but shrink his head, clasped his hands and replied nervously. Here is another picture of Yun Zai's black version, also made by the author. The original picture is in the comment area, I don't know if it can be displayed. Hearing Yun Zai's cute answer, Xiao Chen was stunned. It has just entered autumn, and the weather has not yet felt cool. Even if you take off your clothes, you will not be frozen to death. Besides, he has the cultivation level of the 7th level of spiritual aperture. Does he need a maid to come over and warm the bed? Give you another chance to reorganize your language. What do you want to do when you come to my room at night? After gently knocking the other party on the head, Xiao Chen asked, pretending to be a little angry. Well, don't be angry, young master. I actually wanted to come over to sleep with you. Yunxi sighed softly and covered her head, then lowered her head and said with a flushed face. She also knew a little bit about what happened tonight. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen, who had a normal relationship with Xiaomeier and Xiaoling before, would show off his power tonight and directly teach the two women to scream. The strange sound made her blush, and she couldn't help but sympathize with Xiaomeier and Xiaoling. At the same time, I was thinking, this must be caused by Xiao Chen being young and full of energy and having too much anger to vent. As a personal maid, she did not help Xiao Chen to properly guide her, but instead caused Xiaomeier and Xiaoling to suffer. This was her dereliction of duty as a personal maid. So feeling tormented and entangled in her heart, Yunxi boldly ran to Xiao Chen's room, intending to use her gentleness to calm Xiao Chen's anger. What are you thinking about, girl? Before Yunxi finished speaking, Xiao Chen knocked the other person angrily again. Go back to your room and go to sleep. We'll talk about waiting for you later. In fact, Yunxi is already considered an adult woman in this world. But in Xiao Chen's eyes, it's still a bit small. The most important point is, the bloodline seal on Yun Zai's body will not only protect the opponent's safety, but also seal the opponent's primordial yin. Once a man wants to do something like that to Yunxi, the blood seal will be triggered on the spot. That kind of terrifying attack power can obliterate the celestial human realm. Even if he is protected by the mark of a famous sword, He can still hold on for 3 seconds even if he fights to death, so this girl still needs to be raised first. When he becomes stronger in the future, what is his will eventually be his. Master, do you dislike me? After being rejected by Xiao Chen on the spot, Yunxi smacked her lips and tears immediately filled her eyes. Like an abandoned child, that look can really break your heart. I see you are thinking wildly again. Seeing Yun Zai's appearance, Xiao Chen covered his head. This personality is probably caused by the lack of love when I was a child. I feel like I am about to be abandoned by others, just a word. Okay, stop looking so heartbroken. Master, let me hold you to sleep tonight. After looking at this exquisite face, Xiao Chen didn't have the heart to drive it out, and then added a little dotingly. But the young master is a little tired tonight, so he just holds you to sleep. Don't be careless. He couldn't really touch Yunxi, so Xiao Chen had to say this. But his popularity with women is too strong. All the beauties of supreme grade were leaning against her with all their strength. It seems that from now on, he must have an ancient kidney body, otherwise he will be sucked dry by these people without even having 6 kidneys. Thank you, master. After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Yunxi kissed Xiao Chen fiercely, and then hugged Xiao Chen tightly. Greedily sucking in the scent of Xiao Chen's body, his heart was beating hard. She could finally sleep with Xiao Chen, which she never dreamed of. As long as she pleases the young master more in the future, the young master will definitely like her more. The next morning, Xiao Chen slowly woke up from his sleep. When he opened his eyes, he found a small face leaning toward his face with a pouted mouth. You girl, you are really as big as a brat. Seeing Yunxi closing her eyes and about to kiss him, Xiao Chen said angrily. Ah, master, are you awake? Hearing Xiao Chen's words, Yunxi was startled, and her pretty face turned red instantly. Unexpectedly, he wanted to kiss Xiao Chen secretly, but was caught on the spot. It's really embarrassing. Okay, get up and wash up. The young master has something important to do today. Looking at the love-minded Yunxi, Xiao Chen said something in a soft voice, got up, changed clothes and walked out of the room. After a short rest, it was a bloody storm. He didn't forget to send the Lin family off. It's so big. No wonder the young master said I'm still a little small. No wonder they screamed so miserably last night. Watching Xiao Chen walk out of the wing, Yunxi muttered with shame as if she remembered something. Then she quickly got up and went to do what she should do. As soon as Xiao Chen walked out of the room, he saw several figures already standing in the courtyard. Ha 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 ha, Xiao Chen, you look good. You should have rested well last night. Before he could see who these people were, Xiao Mingyi appeared in front of him. You old boy, why are you standing so far forward, blocking Xiao Chen from coming out? Seeing Xiao Mingyi approaching him, Xiao Qishong was not willing to be outdone and immediately went up to pull him away. Looking at Xiao Zhan and Xiao Delong, the corners of their mouths couldn't help but twitch. Even though he is already several decades old, he still likes to be in the limelight. The two elders seemed to be in a good mood. Seeing this familiar face, Xiao Chen also looked depressed. Even his daughter gave him a warm bed without hesitation. These two people were really crazy about him. Ha ha ha, the sparrows were chirping last night, and there seems to be good news to come, so today, Why do you feel so cold? After hearing Xiao Chen's angry question, Xiao Mingyi laughed and was about to say something. But before he could finish his words, a sudden chill came down his back. The laughter of the two people stopped suddenly, and they quickly turned around and looked towards the center of the courtyard. They saw a woman in hot and sexy clothes, with an exquisite and charming face, staring at them faintly. Chapter 35. It seems that my Xiao family is about to produce a reckless hero. Hiss. Queen Medusa. Seeing Kyan's cold eyes, both of them were frightened and their expressions became a little restrained. With their qualifications and experience, naturally, it is not difficult to see that Kyan cares about Xiao Chen, and maybe she also wants to be her concubine. But the two of them did a little trick last night, and Xiao Chen got 2 more women. One by one, they all got in front of Queen Medusa. This woman must have wanted to kill them all on the spot. However, this chill was only fleeting. After seeing Xiao Chen looking at her, Kyan calmed down her breath the next moment. Although she felt a little uncomfortable, she would not embarrass these people. A little scare is enough, if it is unreasonable. I'm afraid it will make Xiao Chen feel disgusted. Good morning, master. After scaring Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong, Kyan showed a faint smile to Xiao Chen. That kind of gentle and elegant gesture made Xiao Mingyi and others slightly startled. Sure enough, Women are fickle creatures, and Queen Medusa is no exception. Only when dealing with people you care about will you reveal your gentle and quiet side. Morning. Feeling the change in Kayan, Xiao Chen also smiled lightly. Chenur, please be careful when heading to Tiandu City next. If you encounter any crisis, remember to focus on saving your life, and don't be too strong for the moment. Feeling that the atmosphere was a bit awkward, Xiaozan stood up and spoke out at this time. As he spoke, he reached out and patted the other party's shoulder, then handed a scroll into Xiao Chen's hand. This is the geographical map of Guangzhou. You can use it next. I'll be careful. Xiao Chen immediately took the scroll and nodded cautiously. He is not a reckless man. He would not be stupid enough to think that with Kayan protecting him, he could do whatever he wanted in the Guangzhou area. If he really encounters a life or death crisis, he will definitely let Kayan take him away first. After all, you only have one life, and living is what matters. Miss Kayan, Chenur is counting on you on this journey. Xiaozan nodded happily, then looked at Kai Yan, and spoke very sincerely. Judging from the look in the eyes of this Queen Medusa, she might be one of his daughters-in-law in the future. So Xiaozan's eyes. It was with a touch of encouragement and kindness, which suddenly made Kayan slightly stunned. I will. As if sensing the meaning of Xiaozan's eyes, Kayan immediately responded with some restraint. She didn't care about the other members of the Xiao family in this courtyard, but Xiaozan was young Master Xiao's father. Even as Queen Medusa, she cannot lose due respect. Next, after some pleasantries, Xiao Chen was ready to set off. But when he picked up the map and looked at it, Xiao Chen suddenly felt a headache. He can't fly yet, and he doesn't have any flying tools. It's a bit troublesome to go to Tiandu City. It would be great if there was a flying boat. As his mind was spinning, Xiao Chen couldn't help but mutter. Unfortunately, the most inferior flying boat can only be built with Earth-rank materials, and its cost is far higher than that of ordinary treasures. Even the Lin family in Tiandu City couldn't get a flying boat. It is even a rare treasure in Luyun City. Master, hold my hand, I will take you to fly. Just when Xiao Chen felt depressed, Kayan suddenly stood beside him and spoke softly. After saying that, he extended his left hand, making Xiao Chen slightly stunned. Actually, so proactive. Thank you, Miss Kayan. After a moment of silence, Xiao Chen smiled lightly and then extended his hand. It's cold and tender for a while, just like soft and fragrant jade. Xiao Chen couldn't help but feel a little strange. The moment they held hands, Kayan's body trembled slightly, and her expression became a little unnatural. Of course, she didn't reject this feeling, but she felt a little nervous and shy. Although this was not the first time she had skin-to-skin contact with Xiao Chen, the strange feeling still made her feel uneasy. Sir, if you don't mind, please call me Kayan from now on. Calling Miss Kayan seems awkward. After a moment of silence, Kayan said coldly. It not only shocked Xiao Chen, but also scared Xiaozan and others. Unexpectedly, this cold Queen Medusa would actually let people call her by her real name. Is this hinting at something? Hurry up. The next moment, before Xiao Chen could say anything, Kayan added something, and her cultivation started to move accordingly. The vast true energy enveloped Xiao Chen, and the two of them rose into the sky in an instant. With her cultivation level now restored to the third level of universal truth, even if she doesn't have to hold Xiao Chen, she can still take him flying. But after figuring everything out last night, in order to promote the relationship between the two, Kayan mustered up the courage and chose to hold Xiao Chen's hand. It seems that our Xiao family is about to produce a reckless hero. The aura of Queen Medusa is too strong. No one can shock her except Xiao Chen and the head of the family. It seems that I need to warn Mayor and Linger not to be jealous of her. Seeing Xiao Chen and Kayan leaving, Xiao Mingyi and Xiao Qishong not only sighed. Thinking of Queen Medusa's captivating look just now, the two of them couldn't help but shudder. Well, there is a picture. Here is a picture of the Queen's bunny girl outfit when she was a girl. Time flies by like a white horse, 2 days are fleeting. The Lin family in Tiandu City was already in panic, and Lin Yao had aged 10 years in the past 2 days. Master, the young master is back and is in the meeting hall now. When Lin Yao was thinking about how to stabilize the Lin family's various industries as quickly as possible, a deacon walked into the study excitedly. There is also good news. The young master is back with his master. What? After hearing the middle-aged man's words, Lin Yao stood up suddenly, with a look of excitement on his face. Lin Feng's master. However, the inner sect elder of Tai Sword sect has reached the 7th level of nirvana. Looking at the entire Guangzhou region, he can be considered a strong man. If this person helps the Lin family, he might be able to destroy the Xiao family in Luyun City. Even if you lose, depending on the opponent's position within Tai Sword sect can also use stronger players. By then, even if the Xiao family has the heavenly rank formation as their trump card, it will only be reduced to ashes in front of Tai Sword sect. Let's go. Come with me to meet Master Fenger. When the thought came to an end, Lin Yao walked quickly towards the meeting hall and almost fell over. Chapter 36. I can give you a chance. Chamber. Lin Feng sat on the chair with a gloomy expression, and couldn't help clenching his fists tightly. He never expected that in just a few days, bad news would come to the Lin family. Not only his grandfather Lin Chong'an, but also 2 other supreme elders, and even more than a dozen Xuandan realm elders. They all died in Luyun City. Almost overnight, the Lin family existed in name only. And the root of all this is actually because of him. If he hadn't deliberately killed the young master of the Xiao family in Luyun City during the Tai Sword sect test some time ago, his grandfather would not want to help him eliminate future troubles, and the Lin family would not suffer a devastating blow. He didn't expect that the consequences he planted impulsively would cost the Lin family such a heavy price. Fenger, you are finally back. Just when Lin Feng's expression turned ferocious, Lin Yao also came to the meeting hall at this time. Father. Lin Feng's heart trembled when he saw that Lin Yao had aged more than 10 years in just a few days. The hatred for the Xiao family in his heart soared to the extreme. As this Fenger's master, Lin Yao had no intention of talking nonsense to Lin Feng. His eyes fell on the old man in blue beside him, and then he knelt down without any nonsense. Lin Yao, the head of the Lin family, hereby sincerely asks your majesty to uphold justice for our Lin family. The Xiao family of Luyun City relied on their possession of sky-high price treasures. Not only did they kill Lin Feng's grandfather over a disagreement, but they also killed all our elders who came to seek justice. After saying that, Lin Yao raised his head, his eyes flashed coldly, and then he took off a Na ring from his body. The Xiao family is so cruel and unkind and should be destroyed by righteous people. Lin Yao is willing to use 80% of the Lin family's wealth as reward, and I sincerely ask your majesty to seek justice for our Lin family this time. After saying that, Lin Yao bowed his hands and presented the ring. Master Lin doesn't have to be like this. Seeing the Naji in Lin Yao's hand, the old man in blue's eyes lit up slightly. Then he stood up and helped Lin Yao up, then put away the ring without leaving any trace. Lin Feng is my direct disciple. Now that the Lin family has encountered such changes, I cannot turn a blind eye. Since the Xiao family in Luyun City is so cruel and unkind, I will go and wipe it out of the world, as a way to comfort the elders of the Lin family. After saying that, a powerful cultivation aura immediately erupted in the meeting hall. This made Lin Yao so moved that his body trembled and a look of pleasure appeared on his face. As long as the powerful Tai Sword sect takes action, the Xiao family can basically be declared destroyed. Haha, if you want to erase the Xiao family from this world, old guy, your tone is quite serious. Also at this time, as a voice echoed with a sneer, 2 figures appeared strangely outside the hall. Who? Hearing these sudden words, Lin Yao and others' expressions suddenly changed, and they looked outside the hall. I saw a man and a woman standing quietly in the inner courtyard of the Lin family. It was Xiao Chen and Qian. In fact, they arrived at Tiandu City half a day ago, but for the sake of caution, it took some time to find out about the Lin family. After learning that the Lin family has now sealed the door, it not only suspended all the properties under its name, but also recalled all the strong family members. Even Lin Feng, the young master of the Lin family, traveled thousands of miles back to the Lin family from Tai Sword sect. Xiao Chen guesses. The Lin family probably wanted to use Lin Feng's connections to ask the powerful people of Tai Sword sect to turn the tide. So after thinking for a while, he and Qian broke into Lin's house. Unexpectedly, they happened to hear the old guy's boastful words. It's you, Xiao Chen. After seeing Xiao Chen and Qian clearly, Lin Feng's pupils suddenly shrank violently and he shouted in disbelief. This guy was. A few days ago, he had obviously destroyed his Dantian and was seriously injured, but now he appeared here with a look of nothing, plus the Xiao family suddenly had the heavenly rank formation. Could it be that this guy got some incredible opportunity that gave the Xiao family the capital to counterattack the Lin family? It's actually you. And the old man in blue obviously recognized Xiao Chen. Not long ago, He was the one who presided over the competition between two people in the entry-level assessment of Tai Sword Sect. After Lin Feng severely injured Xiao Chen and crippled him, he withstood the pressure to protect Lin Feng, and finally accepted Lin Feng as his disciple. I didn't expect that I would bump into this kid when I came to Lin's house this time. We meet again. Seeing the horrified looks on their faces, Xiao Chen showed a stern smile. The grudges of the past few days should be settled. Boom. Almost as soon as these words were spoken, Kai Yan, whose face was covered with gauze, also burst into cultivation at this moment. The terrifying pressure collapsed like a mountain, making Lin Feng and others feel as if the sky suddenly collapsed. His face turned pale at this moment, and his pupils shrank into needle shapes on the spot. Tong. Universal Truth Realm Strong Man. Feeling this overwhelming and terrifying pressure, the old man in blue shouted in a sharp voice. A strong man of this level, in their Tai Sword Sect, would not exceed the number of 5 fingers. Every one of them can be said to be the foundation of the sect. And a strong man of this level can kill him easily. Sir, do you want to keep the whole body? Staring at Lin Feng and others faintly, Kaiyan asked in a cold voice. The young master's enemy is her enemy. Especially that young man, who dared to injure the young master some time ago, and even dared to destroy the young master's dantian. The young master must have suffered a lot for this. If she could, she would definitely crush this guy to ashes, otherwise she would be sorry for the suffering the young master has suffered. Well, let's keep the body intact. Xiao Chen nodded indifferently when he heard this, and replied without any fluctuation in his voice. Today, the Lin family must leave no chickens or dogs behind, and even dig 3 feet into the ground to scatter the ashes of their ancestors. As Xiao Chen finished speaking, Kaiyan also raised her right hand. The red flame, as strange as blood, also burned from her hand at this moment. Your Excellency, spare your life. I am the inner elder of Tai Sword Sect. I offended you a few days ago due to confusion. Now I am willing to apologize. I hope you can let me go. Seeing Kaiyan raising her hand to block this space, a terrifying life and death crisis exploded in her heart. The old man in blue looked horrified at this moment. As he spoke, he handed over the space ring that Lin Yao gave him, as well as another Na ring that he wore on his right hand. These 2 space rings, one contains 80% of the Lin family's resources, and the other contains all of my net worth. I am willing to hand over both Na rings to you. I hope that you will let me leave here for the sake of Tai Sword Sect. If your Excellency has any instructions in the future, I will also be willing to do my best for you. While speaking, the old man in blue bowed down to Xiao Chen, making both Lin Yao and Lin Feng dumbfounded. He had just accepted their benefits and threatened to completely wipe out the Xiao family. As a result, the real owner appeared. This old guy turned against him faster than flipping through a book, and even gave up his dignity to save his life. Haha, I'll kill you. These resources are still mine. Hearing the words of the old man in blue, Xiao Chen couldn't help but sneered, his voice a little mocking. But I can give you a chance. If you kill them and wipe out all the Lin family, I will not kill you. The cold words with a touch of cruelty echoed in the Lin family, causing the expressions of Lin Yao and others to change drastically. Chapter 37 I only said, I won't kill you, I didn't say she won't kill you. Master, don't listen to him, he must be lying to you. Your Majesty, you cannot give up on our Lin family is. After Xiao Chen finished speaking, Lin Feng and Lin Yao couldn't help but scream in fear. Xiao Chen obviously wants them to kill each other. Even if Li Hai really kills them, he will still end up dead. I just want to live, I can't blame you anymore. Before Lin Feng and Lin Yao finished speaking, Li Hai suddenly raised his head and his expression became extremely ferocious. When the cold voice came out, his cultivation also exploded. Next moment, Li Hai looked like a ghost, his hands directly strangled the 2 people's necks. As Lin Yao and Lin Feng looked at each other in disbelief, Li Hai broke their necks in an explosion of true energy. The father and son, Lin Yao and Lin Feng, both died with their eyes open at this moment. Sir, I have already taken care of these 2 blind things for you. Next, I will slaughter the entire Lin family to completely eliminate future troubles for you. After killing Lin Yao and Lin Feng, Li Hai raised his hands in a low voice, his posture almost humble at this moment. After saying that, before Xiao Chen could say anything, Li Hai walked straight out of the hall. The muscles all over his body were tense, and his nerves were extremely tense. If he could stay away from the woman in front of him, he would have a chance to use the escape method divine ability. By then, even if this woman is a strong person in the universal truth realm, she will not be able to keep him completely. It's so clean and tidy. You old guy is really a character. As soon as Li Hai finished speaking and was about to walk out of the hall, Xiao Chen sneered. This indifferent and cold voice made Li Hai stiffen. An ominous premonition also broke out in my heart. Kill him. Sure enough, when Li Hai sensed something was wrong, Xiao Chen immediately gave Kaiyan instructions. Didn't you say you wouldn't kill me? Hearing Xiao Chen say these 3 words, Li Hai's hair trembled and exploded, and he yelled hysterically. His cultivation level exploded at this moment, and his figure immediately shot towards the sky. I only said, I won't kill you. I didn't say she won't kill you. Xiao Chen sneered when he heard this, and his words were a bit mocking. This kind of person who knows how to tolerate and is cold-blooded and decisive. If the other party is allowed to leave here alive, it will definitely become a big problem in the future. Originally, Xiao Chen wanted to use this guy's hands to cleanse the Lin family with blood, to prevent Kaiyan's hands from being stained with too much sin and blood. After that, he asked Kaiyan to kill the other person, but after seeing this guy's reaction, he didn't dare to let him live for a few more seconds. What's more, this guy was one of the culprits who caused the original body to be deposed, and he was also the one who severely injured Xiaozan with a palm a few days ago. Unless this man dies, the resentment in his heart cannot be completely dissipated. Boom. Almost as Xiao Chen's words echoed, Kaiyan's cultivation reached its peak. A strange red light suddenly filled the entire Lin family, and the spiritual energy of the world within 10 miles suddenly boiled. Fire pythons continuously rose into the sky from the ground below, and then roared towards Li Hai. This move, Kaiyan used almost all her current strength, leaving no room for Li Hai to resist. No, if you kill me, you will be punished by Tai Sword Sect. Seeing the fire pythons coming to kill, Li Hai let out a hysterical roar, and a protective shield was formed during the explosion of cultivation. Try to block this wave of offensive. But before he could finish his words, the fire pythons overwhelmed him. The roar was like thunder, shaking most of Tiandu City. The 1,000-acre manor where the Lin family was located continued to collapse under the impact, and instantly turned into a sea of fire. Such amazing movement. Immediately, many strong men in Tiandu City suddenly raised their heads and looked at the Lin family manor with horrified eyes. Master, they are all dead. And in the center of this sea of fire, Kaiyan carried out a charred corpse with a wave of her hand. This was obviously Li Hai, who was killed by her with one blow. Of course, not just Li Hai, but also the Lin family. With this move of divine ability, they were all wiped out. It's just that the cultivation level of these people is too low, and they can only be wiped out in ashes under such an attack. It is impossible to leave intact corpses. System, recover this body. Looking at the Lin family reduced to ruins in front of him, Xiao Chen gave instructions to the system in an indifferent voice. For his enemies, his heart can be as cold as an abyss and he will not have any mercy. After all, if you cut the weeds without eradicating the roots, they will grow again when the spring breeze blows. He didn't want to leave any hidden dangers that would kill him and his clan members in the future. Ding! The system has been recovered. Congratulations to the host for earning 6,800 points. With a flash of light, Li Hai's body disappeared, leaving only 2 space rings. Sir, there is too much noise here, we must leave first. The next moment, when Xiao Chen put away the 2 space rings, Kaiyan's voice sounded very solemn. Before Xiao Chen could say anything, Kaiyan grabbed Xiao Chen's hand. The burst of cultivation turned into a stream of light and quickly disappeared into the sea of fire. Barely half a day. The fact that the Lin family was destroyed by a strong man caused a sensation throughout Tiandu City. However, the city lord's palace only ordered the entire city to be on alert and did not send anyone to investigate and eliminate who was responsible. After all, the Lin family is only a second-rate family in Tiandu City and is not qualified to make a big splash in the city lord's mansion. What's more, to be able to destroy the entire Lin family in a moment, the person who takes action must be a strong man from the universal truth realm. This kind of strong man is almost invincible in Tiandu City. As long as the other party didn't want to massacre the city lord's mansion would not dare to pursue it. This is a world where the strong are respected. As expected of the elder of Tai Sword Sect, he is really extremely wealthy. In an inn in the south of Tiandu City, Xiao Chen's spiritual sense penetrated into Li Hai's Naji and saw the mountains of resources inside. I couldn't help but sigh. Not to mention the various resources used for cultivation, there are hundreds of thousands of spiritual crystals alone. The total net worth should be worth 1 million spiritual crystals. Next, Xiao Chen used his appraisal ability to recycle all the unused items and exchange them into points. As for some useful elixirs, you can use points to upgrade them to supreme grade. After some operations, the points originally exceeded the 100,000 mark, but were suddenly consumed to the bottom again. But in this operation, not only did he synthesize and upgrade a heavenly rank supreme grade soft armor, he also synthesized and upgraded several earth rank level elixirs. For example, the Zon Nidan, which is used to increase the Grotto Heaven realm and break through the Nirvana realm, and the Panling Pill, which is used by Nirvana realm experts to improve their cultivation. These are pills that are enough to make many powerful people go crazy. The next step is to use these resources and convert them into more points. Seeing that there were less than 1,000 points left, Xiao Chen sighed, stood up, and spoke to Kaiyan, who was also in the wing. Follow me to the Xian Chamber of Commerce. Xian Chamber of Commerce. It's Tiandu City. No, it's the largest chamber of commerce in the Great Qian dynasty. The headquarters has a celestial human realm strongman sitting there. Although Tianducheng is just a branch, the resources it contains are unimaginable. As long as you have enough spiritual crystals, you can almost have all the training resources below Saint Realm. What Xiao Chen wants to buy this time is a very precious heavenly rank elixir. It's called Fuling Zidan. Chapter 38. Who gave you the courage to mock the young master? This is a very precious heavenly rank elixir that can restore the cultivation of strong people who have been injured and fallen. Certainly, Resurrection Purple Pill is also divided into rank 7 and rank 8. Each rank corresponds to a major realm. The higher the rank, the stronger the recovery effect will be. The Purple Pill of Resurrection that has reached rank 7 supreme grade can allow the Universal Truth Realm Master to recover all fallen cultivation levels. The Purple Pill of Resurrection that has reached rank 8 supreme grade can allow Celestial Human Realm Masters to recover all fallen cultivation levels. And in the system mall, although there are pills of this type, he cannot unlock the heavenly rank product area because of his insufficient cultivation. Even if he had enough points, he couldn't redeem them. What's more, the price of redeeming the corresponding items in the system mall is usually several times the recycling price. If you want to redeem a rank 8 supreme grade Resurrection Purple Pill, you cannot redeem it without hundreds of thousands of points. Therefore, Xiao Chen could only settle for the next best thing and find a way to collect an elixir on his own. As long as he can find a Resurrection Purple Pill, even if it is the lowest rank 7 low grade, Kaiyan can be restored to his peak condition. After all, there is a systematic upgrade function, and with enough points, you can upgrade to the supreme grade level. Immediately afterwards, after Xiao Chen finished speaking, Kaiyan followed Xiao Chen out without asking any questions. Now she is 100% obedient to Xiao Chen. No matter what the other party is going to do, as long as it is not to destroy the snake people, she will follow him unconditionally. Half an hour later, Xiao Chen and Kaiyan walked around for a while before arriving at the entrance of Xian Chamber of Commerce. Along the way, the streets and alleys of Tiandu City were discussing the Lin family's destruction, and there were many rumors that it was the devil's fault. All kinds of rumors smearing the person who made the move made people in Tiandu City panic. Even Kaiyan, the always calm Medusa, almost killed several storytellers. Because some of those storytellers are trying to attract people's attention. She actually said that she was an ugly girl who failed to woo and was rejected by the young master of the Lin family, so she destroyed the Lin family in a rage. Fortunately, Xiao Chen caught Kaiyan in time and the storyteller saved his life. However, although these remarks were a bit outrageous, Xiao Chen was not very disgusted by them, and was actually a little happy in his heart. The more versions of these rumors exist, the more they confuse the truth. When it reaches Tai Sword Sect's ears, it will probably be delayed for some time. If the other party wants to know immediately whether it is related to the Xiao family in Luyun City, he must have to spend a lot of time investigating before he can make a judgment. During the turning of thoughts, Xiao Chen and Kaiyan had already arrived at the lobby of Xian Chamber of Commerce and directly stated the purpose of their trip without any nonsense. What? You want to buy heavenly rank elixir? Resurrection Purple Elixir. After hearing Xiao Chen say what he wanted to buy, the maid in charge was shocked on the spot. Heavenly rank elixir. This can be said to be an extremely rare treasure. Each one is priceless, and can easily cost hundreds of millions of spiritual crystals. Even the city lord of Tiandu City may not be able to afford it. The most important thing is that these kinds of things are almost all rare treasures in Tiandu City. Every time it appears, it will only be auctioned. There are very few heavenly rank items that can be sold individually. Could this guy in front of me be here to cause trouble? What's the problem? Seeing the maid's surprised reaction, Xiao Chen frowned and said helplessly. He suddenly had an ominous premonition, and it looked like he was about to be ridiculed. Ha ha ha, is this kid's head broken? He actually wants to buy heavenly rank items. As we all know, once there is a heavenly rank treasure in Tiandu City, it will be sold at auction. Where did this kid come from? He came to the public hall to buy heavenly rank. As expected, when Xiao Chen's thoughts fell, several people around him burst into laughter, and one of them even had a mocking look on his face. He sneered with an exaggerated expression. His eyes kept wandering back and forth on Kaien's body, as if he wanted to attract the other person's attention in this way. Although Kaien's face was covered with a veil, judging from the other person's figure and skin color, it is not difficult to tell that this is a supreme grade beauty. As the third young master of the Wan family in Tiandu City, he has never seen many women with a figure as supreme as Kaien. Queen Medusa looks so beautiful with her face covered. Presumptuous. Who gave you the courage to mock the young master? Before this person finished speaking, Kaien's eyes suddenly turned cold. As these two sentences fell, a terrifying coercion swept away instantly, and the young man in purple was swept away on the spot. Even everyone within a radius of 10 feet except Xiao Chen. Under the explosion of this coercion, everyone was pressed to the ground, and they could only raise their heads and look at Kaien with a horrified expression. A strong man in Nirvana realm. Feeling this terrifying pressure, the young man in purple was so frightened that he peed on the spot. He had only experienced this level of coercion from his grandfather and the commander of Tiandu City. Who would have thought that this woman with a stunning figure would have a cultivation level above the Nirvana realm? Oh, why bother? Looking at the people around him who were lying on the ground, Xiao Chen sighed helplessly. If he can still be ridiculed for buying something, does he have the aura of a protagonist? What happened? Just when Xiao Chen was sighing, a figure rushed out of the Chamber of Commerce. In just a moment, he arrived in the hall. This person is none other than the Deacon Elder of Zion Chamber of Commerce's branch in Tianducheng, named Cloud Mountain. With a powerful cultivation level in the 6th level of Nirvana, he is considered the top powerhouse in Tiandu City. After feeling the explosion of momentum, he thought a powerful enemy was coming. He was so frightened that he put away his gun during the battle, put on his clothes and rushed over immediately, his eyes immediately falling on Kai Yan. Hiss. Tong, the strong man of Universal Truth Realm. Feeling the vast and abyss-like aura on Kaien's body, a look made the hairs on his body tremble and stand up. Cloud Mountain couldn't help but scream in shock at this moment. Even the Lord of Tiandu City, who is in the Nirvana 9th level, cannot make him feel such a sense of life and death crisis. This is definitely a Universal Truth Realm powerhouse. Hiss. She is actually a strong person in the Universal Truth Realm. After hearing Cloud Mountain's words, everyone lying on the ground around them took a sharp breath at this moment. And the young man in purple turned pale. He fainted immediately after looking at him, fearing that Kaien would notice him and kill him with just one look. I don't know that Cloud Mountain has failed to welcome you, so please calm down. Feeling numbness in his scalp, Cloud Mountain immediately clenched his fists at Kaien. Although he has the Zion Chamber of Commerce behind him, he faces a strong man above the Universal Truth Realm. As a last resort, you still don't dare to anger the other person. How dare these people laugh at the young master? It's up to you to decide. After hearing Cloud Mountain's frightened words, Kaien's expression did not waver at all, but she glanced at the man in purple and the others indifferently. If she didn't want to cause more trouble to Xiao Chen, she would have raised her hand to kill these ants. Come here, kick these short-sighted people out of the Chamber of Commerce and put them on the blacklist. After hearing this, Cloud Mountain got excited and asked people to blast those people out. These blind things almost caused him great trouble. Master, I wonder if you are satisfied with this punishment. After doing all this, Cloud Mountain also looked at Xiao Chen and asked in a flattering voice. To be called a master by a strong man from the Universal Truth Realm, the young man in front of him definitely has a great background. Maybe they are the descendants of the top forces in the Great Qian dynasty. I thought that the woman in red in front of me was the most terrifying person in the room, but I didn't expect that this young man in black was. Chapter 39. The hemp rope is cut at the smallest point, and bad luck always seeks out the unfortunate. Let's talk somewhere else. Xiao Chen waved his hand after hearing this and did not pursue this nonsense. He's just a pushy, mean-mouthed young man, and there's no point in trying to kill him just because of a taunt. Thank you for your understanding, sir. Cloud Mountain breathed a sigh of relief when he heard this, and immediately led the way and led the two of them to the VIP room. Along the way, during some simple greetings, Xiao Chen also stated the purpose of the trip. Master Xiao wants to buy the purple pill of restoration. Even Cloud Mountain was shocked when he heard Xiao Chen's target for this trip. As expected of a young master who is accompanied by a strong man from the universal truth realm, this opening is such a precious heavenly rank elixir. It seems that the power behind Xiao Chen must be very powerful. What? Is there a problem? Seeing that even a strong person like Cloud Mountain was making a fuss after hearing this, Xiao Chen couldn't help feeling a little speechless. To be honest, sir, the kind of elixir you want to buy is not available in our small place. Even the Zion Chamber of Commerce headquarters may not have this kind of elixir. Cloud Mountain smiled helplessly upon hearing this. The purple pill of restoration is extremely special, and it is also a heavenly rank pill. Because it can restore the cultivation level that has been injured and fallen, and the refining of this elixir is also quite demanding. Therefore, no matter where it is, once the resurrection purple pill appears, it will be sold out immediately. And because of the special nature of this kind of thing, it is difficult for Zion Chamber of Commerce to obtain it. Generally, if a strong person obtains it, they will treat it as a treasure to prepare for emergencies. Unless the other party doesn't know the goods or is desperate, few strong people will sell the purple pill of restoration. This also led to, since the establishment of the Zion Chamber of Commerce for so many years, the total number of soul-restoring purple pills auctioned off does not exceed 10. After hearing Cloud Mountain's answer, Xiao Chen couldn't help but be speechless. It seems that they still overestimated the Zion Chamber of Commerce and underestimated the rarity of the resurrection purple pill. Unexpectedly, this kind of elixir is so rare in the Great Qian dynasty. Then are there any resurrection purple pill prescriptions for sale? After frowning, Xiao Chen asked unwillingly. If there is a prescription for the resurrection purple pill, it can be synthesized through system functions as long as the corresponding spirit medicine can be found. However, the elixir recipe is often more precious than the finished elixir. If he wants to get the recipe for the resurrection purple pill, he is afraid that he will have to pay a higher price. Master Xiao has a high opinion of our Zion Chamber of Commerce. Each of these heavenly rank elixir recipes is a rare treasure. Maybe there is a collection at the headquarters of the Alchemist Guild, but it would be more troublesome for the Zion Chamber of Commerce to get this kind of thing than to get a resurrection purple pill. Hearing this, Cloud Mountain smiled bitterly and shook his head. Immediately afterwards, when Xiao Chen's face turned ugly, Cloud Mountain seemed to remember something again. Suddenly he slapped his thigh fiercely and said with some excitement, "By the way, there is a person who should have this kind of elixir, and this person is in Tiandu City." Hearing Cloud Mountain's words, Xiao Chen's eyes lit up and he immediately looked at him. Cloud Mountain didn't give in, and continued after a pause. This person is Marong Fu, the Lord of Tiandu City. About 13 years ago, old city master Marong suffered a heavy blow unexpectedly, and his cultivation level fell from the second level of universal truth to the first level of grotto heaven. In order to restore Marong Bo's cultivation, Marong Fu did not hesitate to spend all his money to buy a soul-restoring purple pill. It's a pity that before returning to the city lord's palace, Marong Bo was assassinated again. Although I was lucky enough to save my life, my meridians and dantian were also destroyed, so this purple pill of restoration will no longer be of use. After talking about the origin of the resurrection purple pill in one breath, Cloud Mountain couldn't help but feel a little sad on his face. In those days, when Marong Bo was still a strong man in the universal truth realm, the status of the city lord's mansion was at its peak. Even a powerful force like Tai Sword Sect would not dare to offend Tiandu City easily. They even intend to win over the other party and form an alliance with them to fight against other forces. However, Marong Bo did not want to participate in the competition between other forces, so he kindly declined the invitation from the leader of Tai Sword Sect. Didn't expect it to be soon. He suffered heavy losses when entering the Great Wilderness Mountains, but luckily returned to the city lord's palace and was assassinated again. The Lord of Tiandu City, who once had a powerful force for thousands of miles around, can now only be reduced to a useless man in a wheelchair. Hiss. This is a good thing. After hearing what Cloud Mountain said, Xiao Chen's eyes suddenly lit up and a look of ecstasy appeared on his face. As unfortunate as this story sounds, it's an opportunity for him to profit from it. Good thing. When Cloud Mountain heard this, he looked at Xiao Chen in confusion. He didn't know what the latter was gloating about. Is it possible Xiao Chen has a grudge against Tiandu City Lord's mansion? Ahem, is this soul-reviving purple pill still in his hand? Seeing Cloud Mountain's weird look, Xiao Chen coughed dryly and changed the subject. I'm here. Cloud Mountain frowned when he heard this. He had nothing to hide and continued in a low voice. It's just that 13 years have passed, and the soul resurrection purple pill in Marong Fu's hand has only reached rank 7 middle grade. No matter how it is sealed over the years, the potency of the medicine will be lost. The efficacy is at most equal to that of the low-grade rank 7 restoring purple pill, and it may not be as good as the low-grade rank 7 restoring purple pill. It doesn't matter. Xiao Chen waved his hand when he heard this and said indifferently. In fact, the level of this elixir is low enough, and the potency is also lost. In this way, his chances of getting it will undoubtedly be greatly improved. Ha ha ha, since the young master is determined to get the purple pill of restoration, you might as well go to the city lord's mansion and ask. Seeing Xiao Chen's indifferent look, Cloud Mountain couldn't say anything more, so he just gave a few friendly reminders. It's just that even if the power of the resurrection purple pill is lost, the city lord's mansion will not hand it over easily. As far as I know, the city lord's mansion once said that as long as someone can cure the old city lord Marong, or solve his daughter's innate disease, not only can you get 1 million spiritual crystals in return, but you can also choose any 5 high-level treasures from the treasure house of the city lord's mansion. Speaking of this, Cloud Mountain showed a sad look on his face again, and he still had a little sympathy for Marong Fu. Not only did his father become a cripple, which weakened the status of the city lord's palace, but his beloved wife also died early. Even the only daughter thought that she had some kind of hidden disease and had become a strange being. Seriously, hemp ropes are broken at the smallest points, and bad luck always seeks out the poor. Thank you, Elder Cloud Mountain, for informing me. Xiao Chen smiled lightly and replied, then took out a bunch of things from the system space. Although you don't have the supply of fulling purple pill here, Xiao still wants to make a deal with your Chamber of Commerce. These are several different elixirs. How much are they worth? After saying that, Xiao Chen motioned to the other party to open the elixir bottle and check the quality of the elixir inside. Haha, since the young master has this intention, I will take a look. Cloud Mountain didn't make any excuses, then picked up an elixir bottle and poured out an elixir from it. Use the true essence to wrap it in your hand, and then start to identify it carefully. There are pill patterns. At the first sight of the elixir, Cloud Mountain's pupils suddenly shrank. As expected of a young master who is followed by strong men from the universal truth realm, he even plans to sell supreme-grade elixirs. Immediately afterwards, Cloud Mountain did not dare to be careless at all, and then began to distinguish carefully. Hiss. This is actually the supreme-grade Zon Nidan. After identifying what kind of elixir it was, Cloud Mountain immediately took a deep breath. He raised his head and looked at Xiao Chen with a shocked expression. Mr. Xiao, are you sure you want to sell this elixir? You must know that Zon Nirvana can increase the success rate of Grotto Heaven realm experts to break through to the Nirvana realm. Low-grade Zon Nidan can increase the success rate by 10%. For middle grade, it is 20%, for high grade, it is 40%, and for supreme grade, it reaches an astonishing 70%. As long as the person taking it is not particularly rubbish, taking supreme grade Zon Nirvana can basically break through to the Nirvana realm. Therefore, a supreme grade Zon Nirvana, in the hands of most forces, can create a Nirvana realm powerhouse. Unexpectedly, Xiao Chen had such a good thing, and instead of keeping it for future use, he planned to sell it. Do you have resources but no place to waste them? Or are you extremely confident in your own qualifications? Chapter 40. This damn old guy actually dares to act like a hooligan in front of me. It's not a rare thing. Elder Yun doesn't have to be like this. Seeing the shocked look on Cloud Mountain's face, Xiao Chen took a sip of tea and said in a nonchalant voice. This kind of thing. It's a rare thing for ordinary people to ask for, but it's easy for him to get it. Isn't it a rare thing? After hearing Xiao Chen's words, Cloud Mountain almost choked to death. I even want to stand up and give Xiao Chen a big dick and ask him if he doesn't understand what supreme grade elixir is. That is because the medicinal power of the elixir can be perfectly integrated union, so that the elixir does not have any impurities and there will be no side effects after taking it. Only then can it be called supreme grade elixir. Even a highly skilled alchemy master cannot guarantee that he will be able to refine supreme grade elixir every time. Therefore, the higher the level of the elixir, the harder it is for supreme grade to appear. This is the rarity of supreme grade elixir. Take a deep breath. Suppressing the urge to complain, Cloud Mountain sealed the supreme grade Zon Ni pill back and picked up another pill bottle. Another supreme grade elixir. Seeing the green elixir suspended in his hand, with elixir lines all over it, Cloud Mountain's pupils couldn't help but dilate. And it's also a supreme grade elixir. After saying this tremblingly, Cloud Mountain's breathing became a little rapid, and his pupils couldn't help but emit green light. If it weren't for the fear of a universal truth realm powerhouse sitting next to him, he wouldn't be able to figure out how strong the power behind Xiao Chen is. Cloud Mountain wants to swallow this elixir directly. Supreme grade Pan Ling Dan, after being taken by Nirvana realm experts, it can improve 1 or 2 small realms. You must know that due to the limitations of his own talent, he has been stuck in the 6th level of Nirvana for many years. If he can take this supreme grade elixir, he can definitely break through to the 7th level of Nirvana, or even the even higher 8th level of Nirvana. Therefore, the supreme grade elixir in front of him was a fatal temptation for him. Ahem, Elder Cloud Mountain, could you please wipe the bomb on the side of your mouth? It feels like it's about to drip onto the elixir. Cloud Mountain was seen staring at the elixir in his hand with a burning look on his face. Xiao Chen couldn't stand it at this moment and coughed dryly and couldn't help but remind him. This elixir is not for sale yet. If it is dripped into Harazi, people will know how much they are separated from each other. Ahem, cough, cough, it's the old man who has lost his temper. Cloud Mountain blushed when he heard this and immediately restrained his posture. But his eyes were still fixed on the supreme grade elixir, like an old sister-in-law staring at Ah Wei. Xiao Chen's scalp felt numb. This guy, is there some kind of fetish? Elder Cloud Mountain, there are other elixirs here, please identify them quickly. When he felt speechless, Xiao Chen could only remind him again. You can actually see the feeling of a crazy person by looking at a pill. This Cloud Mountain elder must be in need of love during this time. Okay. Being urged by Xiao Chen in this way, Cloud Mountain was a little embarrassed, but it was hard to say anything. His reaction was indeed a bit out of control. Immediately afterwards, in the eyes of Xiao Chen and Qian, Cloud Mountain is like a bad old man who has never seen the world. Every time he identifies a pill, he makes a killing pig sound. Hiss, this is the supreme grade spiritual essence pill. The supreme grade elixir that can directly improve the cultivation level of a strong person in the spiritual aperture realm. Damn it, this is the supreme grade Yuan Pei Dan, the supreme grade elixir that can directly improve the cultivation level of strong people in the revolving Dan realm. Damn it, this is the supreme grade elixir, the supreme grade elixir that can allow strong people in the revolving Dan realm to break through to the grotto heaven realm. Wo Ni Ma, this is the supreme grade blood elixir. The supreme grade elixir that can restore damaged chi and blood to Nirvana realm experts and repair injuries to meridians. Quote. After identifying all the elixir bottles, Cloud Mountain's body kept trembling, as if he was about to get sick. These pills are in front of me. Although he had seen them all before, most of them were in the low grade and occasionally in the high grade. And all of them are supreme grade. This is the first time I've seen them. Mr. Xiao, I dare to confirm again, these pills. Are you planning to sell them? Taking a deep breath to calm down, Cloud Mountain asked with a trembling voice. This should be the highest quality order among all the elixir transactions he has ever made. Well, that's just part of it. Xiao Chen nodded when he heard this, then threw out a bunch of pill bottles and continued in a nonchalant voice. I was afraid that it would be troublesome for you to identify them, so I only put one of each type. These are all the same elixirs. Of course, some have more elixirs and some have less elixirs, but the quality is all supreme grade. You can take stock. After saying that, Xiao Chen drank tea by himself, while Qian just said nothing, sitting aside and fiddling with her nails. They're all supreme grade elixirs. Seeing this pile of pill bottles, there was a roar in Cloud Mountain's mind, and his pupils shrank to the extreme on the spot. I thought that those pills just now were all in Xiao Chen's inventory, but I didn't expect that the other party still had them. 5 supreme grade Zon Nirvana pills, 3 supreme grade Panling pills, 8 supreme grade Peiyuan pills, 6 supreme grade Tianling pills, 10 supreme grade Lingyuan pills, 3 supreme grade blood elixirs. Hiss. There are so many supreme grade elixirs, I can't breathe. Boom. After taking stock of all the elixirs, Cloud Mountain's face turned red and his body was trembling. The whole person seemed to be in an orgasm, his body trembled and he suddenly lay on the ground, his legs jumping even harder. This shocked Xiao Chen. Old guy, what kind of plane are you doing? Is this a blackmail or a ploy? Seeing Cloud Mountain's reaction, Xiao Chen felt like his head was spinning. Is it possible that the special skills of some old ladies and grandpas in previous lives have been passed down to this fantasy world? Quick, quick, take a breath for me. I'm out of breath. Cloud Mountain clutched his chest, his face turning from flushed red to purple. The whole person was panting hard and shouted at the door of the wing. Seeing this scene, both Xiao Chen and Kaiyan were a little confused, wondering what this old guy was trying to smoke. The two of them were stunned for a long time. An exquisite-looking maid at the door ran in with a blushing face after hearing Cloud Mountain's call. Then in the shocked eyes of Xiao Chen and Kaiyan, he tugged at the front of his clothes, then hugged Cloud Mountain's head, as if to suffocate Cloud Mountain to death. WTF. WTF. Is this the legendary human chest? Bah, artificial respiration. Who would have thought that this old guy from Cloud Mountain would dare to do such a despicable act in front of them? This damn old guy actually dares to act like a hooligan in front of me. Kaiyan, who had been silent all the time, was bored in every possible way. After seeing this scene, I couldn't hold back at all. A cold light flashed in my eyes, and the aura on my body became a little fierce. The aloof Queen Medusa is so cool. However, after hearing Xiao Chen's dry cough, Kaiyan was embarrassed and could only snort and turn her head away. This damn old guy will teach the young master bad things later. If Xiao Chen suddenly twitched and fell like this in the future, would she also have to run up and let him take a sip? Thinking of this, Kaiyan couldn't help but glance at Xiao Chen, and suddenly found that Xiao Chen was also looking at her. His eyes inadvertently glanced at her proud features, which made her pretty face turn red all of a sudden. Sir, what are you looking at? Kaiyan was about to use the tone of a queen and shout domineeringly. You don't want your eyes anymore. Single quote. But when the words came to his mouth, it seemed that Xiao Chen couldn't be harsh, and in the end he could only say something awkward and coquettish. Cough, 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 it's nothing. Xiao Chen immediately turned his head away in embarrassment when he took a sneak peek at Kaiyan and was caught by the opponent, and then his eyes fell on Cloud Mountain, who fell to the ground. You old guy. Have you had enough? Do you really think we don't exist? You had enough. Do you really think we don't exist? You had enough.